What's up, everybody? Welcome to another kind of funny live reactions for E3 2021. That's right, it's not dead yet. I'm one of your hosts, Greg Miller, alongside Forbes 30 Under 30, aka the second best baby blues, aka the engaged one at Tim Gettys.
Let Parris host. You know what I'm talking about?
Ladies and gentlemen, we are here, of course, to react to the Xbox Games Showcase Extended. What this is going to be is the kind of funny Xcast's own Parris Lilly sitting down with Double Fine, Obsidian, Ninja Theory, Rare, and dev partners from around the world to talk about what is going on with them. This is going to be a much different kind of E3 stream. Of course, E3 is over, but you know what I mean, where it won't be trailer after trailer, hit after hit. Instead, it's going to be conversations, podcasts. Traditionally, Tim, we wouldn't react to this kind of thing, but there's going to be the nugget of news. So we thought, if you're, maybe watching this live, why do games daily while this is happening and then have people in the chat shouting things out? Why not just hang out, watch it for the 2 hours, and then roll with it and see what's up?
Absolutely. And to be clear, saying that we wouldn't normally react to this, it's of course we would normally react to Xbox stuff. We don't normally react to panels of people talking, because then it's just us talking over talking, and that just turns into a mess. But from all of this conversation and from us figuring it out, now that we have a minute and 49 seconds to talk about all this, I did want to figure out a way to come up with a verb for the word hooligan. Because I feel like because Greg brought up, that we're up to shenanigans, but I feel like a hooligan's gonna hooligan doesn't sound good enough. You know what I mean? I want hooligans to do something more. I don't know, but someone leave a comment.
Hooligan's gonna hoot and holler.
Yeah.
All right, chat, while you watch live on twitch.tv/kindafunnygames, help us out. YouTube, what this means, of course, is that if you wanted the the purest of pure as the, driven snow out there information, you should, of course, watch this amazing presentation I'm sure we're about to get without us talking over it. Because at some point, yes, we are going to drift into what Cecil has eaten today, why we don't like Kevin, where is Blessing, what is going on, right? So we're going to be talking over the information. So if you want to know exactly what Double Fine's talking about, obviously you should be watching over there. Instead, we're here to support the young man, Parris Lilly, hang out with him, see what's up. So cool. So proud of him. I love this. I love the amount of new faces we even got this year. Even you doing a E3 alongside like Jackie and Golden Boy. Obviously, they're not old or new faces, but the three of you together, that's like a new combination and kind of different sides of the industry coming together in a way that I think is really cool. I saw Golden Boy talking a lot about how he's more on the esports side, and this was one of the first times he's gotten to do more just traditional, I'm just talking about games. I love that. I think it's really great, and there's a lot of great voices out there. Yeah, I mean, that was one of the powerful things of E3 for me being there and stuff. I didn't know Dan Casey. I didn't know Avalime, right? Like, they were awesome to hang out with and work with all week and get their opinions and knowledge about games. And, now they're part of the family. We'll get them on stuff soon. Michael Hyam, Damon Hatfield, never invited back.
Dead to you.
We'll talk about my E3 experiences another time. For now, let's watch the Xbox Games Showcase Extended and boo Parris with all our might, okay?
This is the showcase that people think that Persona 5 will finally be revealed for Game Pass, and all those kids, they're dumb.
Man,
they're dumb.
People really don't know how to set their expectations, huh?
Yeah.
Hey, we're gonna have a lot of cool conversations with devs. Great. Clearly, that means they're gonna welcome Atlas to the stage. While this goes, because again, I was hosting E3, I was in and out, I was on our reactions, but I didn't do a lot of stuff, and I didn't get to talk at all about Xbox. I had to give my things and run away, Tim. Holy fucking shit, what an Xbox game.
Oh yeah, man, it was great. They're doing it. Game Pass is the bread and butter, and it is gold.
Game Passing is game passing, as you would say about hooligans.
Yeah, exactly. There we go.
I don't know. Was that exactly it?
Guys, I'm so excited for Psychonauts 2. I'm glad I finally played the first one.
Here's what I want to know about Psychonauts 2, Barris. In the Alagma universe.
Barris.
No, you went back and you played Psychonauts, the whatever they call it, on the PS2 Classic on your PlayStation, right?
No, I actually played it on Xbox Game Pass on PC.
Oh wow, okay.
I got that 1440p assets.
I'm very much in. You and I have similar gaming opinions quite a bit. And I have started Psychonauts way back in the day, and then when it came for me to the PlayStation Classics thing, I'd started on a work trip before I got sidelined with the review, and I never went back to it. Is it worth me going? How long was it? Should I go play Psychonauts and beat Psychonauts before Psychonauts 2?
It was like 8 to 10 hours. I think it's fun. Like those type of games in that era of the PS2 and stuff like are my bread and butter. Like I love those games. It was just like Psychonauts just for some reason never came upon young Barrett's gaming shelf, and so I think it's fun. There's like some gameplay aspects here and there that get don't age like super well. Okay,
there he is.
I'm gonna shut up.
To Xbox Game Showcase Extended. I'm your host, Parris Lilly. You may also know me from Gamertag Radio and Kinda Funny. I'm excited to be here with you today. We just saw a recap of Sunday's Xbox Showcase, and wow, 30 games from some of the world's most talented developers.
I love it. I love it so much.
Those games are coming to you on Xbox Game Pass.
That's so fucking cool.
We saw the first in-engine footage of Starfield and learned that, yes, Bethesda is bringing it to Xbox, PC, and day one on Game Pass exclusively. They also showed us Battlefield 2042, Sea of Thieves, A Pirate's Life.
It does, doesn't it? Like, I'm not even that guy, and I was like, holy shit, that looks great.
Like they said, this year, Xbox is all about the games. Today, Xbox Game Showcase Extended is our chance to hear from the developers behind the games that are redefining interactive entertainment. Developers like Double Fine, Playground Games, Supergiant, Rare, 343 Industries, and more. We also have a new accessory design program to share with you, and a couple of other cool surprises. That's enough talk. Let's jump right in.
Looks like he was making predictions on our show about the design lab, right?
We definitely made that prediction on XCast.
Gotcha.
I forget if y'all.
I've listened to so much of us talk about Xbox. It's hard at this point to keep any of it straight.
Snuglax in the chat says, "Someone break out the lobster because Parris' voice is
here
butter."
With us today, all the way from the UK, is Mike Brown from Playground Games. Mike, thanks so much for joining us.
Hey, great to be here.
Now, Mike, Forza Horizon has taken driving fans to Colorado, France, Italy, Australia, and the UK. How did you decide on Mexico for Forza Horizon 5?
Listen, we couldn't fit it in before.
Yeah, so we knew right from the start that we wanted it to be the largest Horizon yet. But it's not far down the path from that you realize you don't want to go big if it's just going to be more of the same. So we also knew that it needed to be the most contrasting, most diverse open world we'd ever built. And then when you start to look at Mexico, it really is like the whole world in one country. It's got snowy peaks, tropical jungles, epic canyons, amazing beaches, beautiful architecture, incredible historic cities.
Forza Horizon 5. Did it surprise you that this won the official E3 most anticipated 2021 game?
The culture, the music,
no, only because I take that back. Yes, for a second, and then once I thought about it for another second, I was like, oh, obviously. It's just Mexico, there was so much of this. It looks fantastic, and it is this year, and it's believable that it's this year. I think that's the big thing, is that this isn't going to get delayed. This is going to hit, and it's going to. We know the quality is going to be there. There's not a chance this game gets less than an 8.5, and I expect 9.5. You know?
Mexican artists produced beautiful mural artwork that you'll find on the walls.
Real quick, shout out to Ubisoft, Yusef McGee, who took a break from eating pussy to come hang out in our chat.
Jesus.
Mexican scriptwriters and actors, so that all of
there's ways to say it, you know?
Stage, I can say whatever the fuck I want to get there.
And perhaps not as obvious, but the other thing that is super authentic is all of our light data and skies. So we had a team out in Mexico.
I love the cars,
with our
just fly it every which
HDR
way.
Sky capture rig. We captured more than 400 hours of sky data.
Greg,
and then
you
we
need
recreate that in game
to watch
so
the trailer in 4K on your TV for Forza Horizon. It is
based on real light
unbelievable.
data captured from Mexico. So
Yusef in the chat, come up for air eventually. Congrats to Belinda for what Shaq News gave her best tweet of E3 based on the joke I'm making right now. That is very crass if you don't understand anything. I guess it's crass no matter what.
So Event Lab is a really exciting new suite of tools
Yusuf's
that will allow people in the community to create
when Batman
can imagine.
Oh my God.
If you look at the video right now, all of this that we see has been built using that Event Lab tool set. The bowling pins that have been placed. So someone's gone along, they've placed those, and then they've created rules that touch on them as well. So as we see, every time they're hitting them, a rule has been set up such that it gives players points. And then also in that clip, you can see that everyone else in that multiplayer session is hitting bowling pins as well. And
also, Forza Horizon 5 is in such a good place. The franchise has only been getting more and more people where it's like, no, guys, it's not just a racing game. You got to fucking play it. And now with Next Gen Xbox, with Game Pass, it's like fever pitch.
That's the feature that I'm most excited about in Forza Horizon 5.
And I would say as a gamer, it's a feature I'm definitely excited about because this really is going to open up some unique features between me and my friends. Now, with the power of the Xbox Series X and the S, what are some of the new technical features that we can expect?
So in Forza Vista, we're really able to turn up everything, ramp everything on, turn on ray tracing, and we have the cars looking more realistic than they ever have before, unparalleled detail. But that detail, it does apply to the rest of the world as well. During the Xbox E3 showcase the other day, I mentioned we'd modeled the detail on everything, right down to the individual needles on the Choya cactus. That was just the plants that happened to be closest to the camera at that point. That level of detail is applied to everything that you see. And thanks to the power of the Xbox Series consoles, it's not just things that are right in front of the camera as well. We've really been able to push out all of the LODs and the draw distance and everything so that everything in the scene is full of that detail. And then, as I mentioned earlier, we capture that light data from Mexico, so you get this realistic lighting, shadows, AO, all of it comes together to create a scene that just looks real.
Guru Lam in the chat says, I pray to God
when can
that
the world
Parris
expect to play Forza Horizon 5?
Get Parris and Khalif.
So we're launching this holiday.
Oh my God, 100%. Why isn't that DLC yet?
On consoles, we're on PC, on both the Windows 10 Store and Steam. Of course, we're in Game Pass and Game Pass Ultimate, and you can play us on your Android device with Xbox Cloud Gaming. And players who purchase the Premium Edition, or if they're a Game Pass subscriber and get the Premium Add-ons bundle, you'll get early access as well, so you'll be able to play a little bit earlier than everybody else.
Now, Mike, this was a huge moment for you and the team. What does this mean to you?
Yeah, well, for me personally, I mean, I've been working on the Forza franchise for a really, really long time, but this is my first game as creative director. So in this period over the last few days and week or so, as people are seeing it for the first time, for me, it's probably been one of the most exciting experiences of my life. It's been absolutely incredible.
Again, Mike, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much for having me. It's been a pleasure.
Later in the show, we'll be hearing from the developers behind games like Age of Empires 4, Shredders, and Grounded. But first, the team at Ninja Theory has something to share with you. Here's Tamim, Chief Creative Ninja, to explain what they've been hard at work on for Hellblade 2.
Hello everyone, and welcome to our brand spanking new Ninja House in Cambridge.
This is all RTX. Don't trust him. This isn't real.
We called it the Ninja House.
What we're doing right now is building a good chunky slice of the game before we then move into full production to build out the rest.
They called him Chief Creative Ninja too.
We didn't want to do a straight sequel. We wanted to do something extra special, and so we're making our lives as difficult as possible in that pursuit.
Yep.
The game is set in Iceland, 9th century Iceland. So we've been sending out art and audio teams out there, doing photography, photogrammetry, and combining it with satellite data to recreate large swathes of the landscape. On the character front, we're building real costumes, scanning them in. We're collaborating with Epic Games to bring next-generation digital characters. On the combat front, we want it to be extra real and brutal. And so Melina, our main actress, has been training for 2 years, and all of our animators have undergone combat training. And so what you're going to see here is not a trailer, it's not a gameplay reveal, but rather a montage of the kind of work we've been up to. Hope you like it.
It's interesting for them to show this.
Will you follow me?
I didn't like that noise, Tim. I didn't like it.
On this journey. By sea. By land. And dreams. Through the valleys of despair. Over the mountains of rage. To the depth of fear in my mind. You might see me as weak, but I will show you what lies behind my eyes. With our swords, we will forge new stories to strike the gods that haunt us. We will embrace our suffering, soothe our scars of grief, and break their siege of our minds.
They may see them as gods, but we will show them what lies behind our eyes.
Gá í á fjalli, undis njóta.
That's the one.
Oh shit, it's happening.
Andy's prediction was new Xbox Standard Controller Design Lab, no Elite. Seems like he is correct. What a great function, man.
Dude, I love it so much. I want it.
Yeah, now that I'm playing on PC, like I have an excuse to finally make one of these. It's really exciting.
Yeah.
And that is Xbox Design Lab. And here to tell us more about Xbox Design Lab is Naveen Kumar. Naveen, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks, Parris.
CW Gordon in the chat says, I want to make some ugly shit.
Design Lab is a controller customization service on Xbox.com.
We said we were going to hooligan over this.
I
need to bring this up right now because it is fucking my mind. All right, we've been doing this, lockdown recording shows like this for well over a year now, right? I am currently blown away to see the sides of Parris's head. Like, there's something about the way he's moving his head more than he does when he talks into a camera. It's like, man, this man has angles. There's like definition to his head in a way that I haven't seen in forever. Because like what? Last time I saw fucking Parris in person like this, and was able to look at his head, I didn't think about it, but I've been staring straight at him for so fucking long. It's like seeing somebody's driver license photo become real.
Oh Lord!
Design Lab. We have shock blue. Pulse
I'm happy to have you
favorite,
back, Greg.
The electric volt color. Most of the colors include post-consumer recycled resins in them.
Hell yeah.
So there's a portion of things that are ground up, like automotive headlights, recycled water bottle jugs.
I just can't go back after the Elite controller, man. Once you get your hands on it, you're just like, oh, there's weight to this. There's power. Yeah, don't touch it. Don't do it. See, this is key. This button thing is key.
Oh, no, please talk.
I don't have much more to say. I don't like it when the controller customization things don't allow you to change the button colors. Like, I love how many options are here. And I don't remember exactly how much there were for the last round of the Xbox stuff, but I remember when I first did it, I was like, there was something I wanted to do they wouldn't let me do, and it looks like I can
bring
now.
that to life.
Gotcha.
And there's also one that's inspired by Grounded and the Aphid character from that game. We had a lot of fun in designing that as well. As a controller kind of looks like an aphid. If you look at
Jen's fighting him right now in the garden. She hates him.
I created my own controller.
Fuck him.
I'm gonna pick it up now.
They're dead to
Thank you.
I'm a huge Los Angeles Lakers fan. World champion Los Angeles Lakers, and my design was inspired by that, so I went with.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
Designed kind of with the black accent along with the shoulders and the triggers. But I also did an inscription on it, and my inscription says "Ka can't cook," and that is inspired by my good friend Khalif Adams. He does a fantastic show called Spawn on Me, but he's a terrible cook. So I want to make sure that every time I pick up a controller to play on Xbox, I'm reminded how terrible of a cook he is and to avoid it at all costs. But enough of terrible cooking.
Oh my god.
Let's talk about something that you
on the
designed.
official Xbox stage,
bro. Kidding me.
My favorite color, this electric volt. I just love the way that the midnight blue accents pop against it. The dark ABXY colors.
Is Parris just using the Xbox showcase to talk shit to Khalif?
He is, Nick. He's killing it.
That is the best move I've ever seen in my life, and it's inspiring, and it makes me think like I just quit. I'm never gonna hit that level, that level of height. You know?
Oh my God. Customization's really fun.
I need Roger to clip that out.
That was a great burn.
Canada and most Western European countries, and these make great gifts, whether it's for yourself or that special gamer in your life.
That is fantastic. Naveen, thank you so much for being here.
Thanks, Parris.
Later in the show, World's Edge will give us a deeper look at Age of Empires 4. But first, Tim Schafer is giving us a closer look at Psychonauts 2.
Slack Roger, dude, as I was typing what I wanted to do, he just replied on it.
Psychonauts 2. Psychonauts 2 is an action-adventure game starring Rasputin Aquato, a powerful young psychic.
Long story short, Greg, yes, I think Psychonauts
ran away from his circus home to join the Psychonauts and expand and explore his psychic abilities. One of Raz's most important psychic abilities is that of astral projection, which allows him to project his psyche into someone else's mind and see their mental landscape made real. He can help them wrestle with their inner demons and fight their actual nightmares.
There's like an item you need,
which means that the levels in the game are actually brains. And Psychonauts 2 has even more brains than the first game. One of the first brains you'll get to visit is that of Caligosto Lobato. Now, Dr. Lobato was actually a villain in the first game, but after Raz fought him, they kind of became friends. He actually has a piece of information that Raz wants, which is who kidnapped Truman Zanotto. And Dr. Lobato wants to tell you, but he can't, because of something going on deep in his unconscious mind. So Raz has to travel, along with Sasha, Mia, and Coach Oleander, into his mind and try to extract that information. And there's a lot of forces at work inside Lobato's mind, maybe put there by someone else, who are trying to stop you, including some of the enemies that you might recognize from the first Psychonauts game, including the Censors, entities designed to stamp out thoughts that don't belong in someone's mind, including Raz, who doesn't belong here. But you also see a lot of new enemies, such as doubts and regrets. Lobato's mind is plagued with doubts and regrets, and they're very dangerous for Raz. Did I mention there's a lot of teeth? Have I mentioned there's a lot of teeth? There's a lot of teeth. He's an amateur dentist. Yeah. He doesn't know a lot about teeth, but he really, really likes them. Luckily, to fight all these enemies, Raz will have his psychic powers, including his powerful psychic punch, where he has these hands that extend psychically from his body into a powerful melee combo. He also has his psychic blast, where he can shoot a powerful energy beam out of his brain. Raz also has the ability of pyrokinesis. It's always handy to be able to burn things with your mind. And levitation. Raz can use his own thoughts, his own thought bubble over his head as a balloon to float around or ride around on to get somewhere really quickly. So with these new powers, Raz can fight all these new enemies and hopefully find out who kidnapped Truman Zanotto. Now, while Truman's been kidnapped, the person running the Psychonauts is Hollis Forsyth, the second head of the Psychonauts. Hollis is also the head of the intern program, which is what Raz has joined now that he's become part of the Psychonauts. And he is invited into Hollis's brain for instruction. Hollis is teaching him a new psychic ability called mental connection, where you can see two thoughts in someone's mind and connect them, sometimes creating new thoughts, making new things happen. While Raz is training in mental connection inside of Hollis's mental classroom, he experiments a little too far and accidentally, maybe slightly on purpose, creates a lot of interest in gambling inside of Hollis's mind because he wants to go on the mission to the Lady Luctopus Casino. Unfortunately, this connection leads to more connections, and eventually the whole thing gets out of Raz's control, and Hollis gets way too interested in gambling. And Raz has to go back into her mind, where he finds out that her memories of medical school, and where she studied neurology, have been corrupted by this gambling interest, and it becomes a casino hospital. And Raz has to actually go in there and engage with all these gambling machines in order to shut it down and return Hollis's mind back to normal. And she's gonna be really mad. Inside Hollis's mind, you'll see bigger, tougher sensors that have turned into bouncers inside the casino, and also a new enemy called Bad Idea. Bad Ideas spawn actual nasty-looking light bulbs over their head that become dangerously explosive and blow up in Raz's face. Now, headquarters. One of the things that happens in Psychonauts 2 that's most exciting to Raz is that he gets to visit the headquarters of the Psychonauts themselves, which is called the Mother Lobe. This is the center for all Psychonauts activity, and Raz gets to see his old friends Sasha and Mia, who were counselors at summer camp in the first game. He now gets to see where they work. He gets to see their offices, he gets to see their labs, he gets to see their co-workers, other agents in the field, but also he gets to see the admin and maintenance staff as they go about their business and hang out in the cafeteria, and sort of the everyday happenings of what appears to be normal in the Psychonauts world. There are a lot of little hidden pathways and treasures around the base that he can find, side quests and scavenger hunts and things that you might recognize from the first game. There's a lot of characters to meet, a lot of fun things to discover, a lot of secrets about the Psychonauts themselves, and the lore of the founding of the Psychonauts, including the Psychic Six, who were seen on stumps around the campfire in the first game, but now we get to go much deeper into the story of how they played a part in the founding of the Psychonauts, how they were brought together and recruited by Ford Cruller and turned into this amazing international espionage force. One of the things that was so important about the first game was exploring this natural environment around the summer camp, all the little hidden paths and caves where Raz's adventures took place. And so in the second game, we've expanded on that. There's an even bigger natural environment, multiple natural environments around the headquarters that you can explore. There's a quarry outside the Mother Lobe, which is where they dug out these massive deposits of titanium. Titanium, this psychoreactive mineral that amplifies and changes psychic powers. There's lots of secrets around the quarry, lots of abandoned mines and caves and things to explore. And next door to the quarry is an abandoned roadside attraction called the Questionable Area, a sort of power vortex of strange happenings, which is also caused by the titanium deposits in the area. Water flows uphill, animals behave strangely. There's caves dedicated to the mystery of the Sasclops, which is a giant one-eyed being that might have existed and might not have. Here in the Questionable Area, Raz's family is camped out, his entire family, as if to embarrass him in front of his new Psychonauts friends. His family has showed up and they want him back in the circus. It turns out some of his family members, including his own father, have a little bit of psychic power themselves, and they'll be exploring that in Psychonauts 2, and you'll get to find out who put this curse on Raz's family to die in water. The Quados have been cursed by a mysterious character to all die in water, and this manifests itself in the form of the Hand of Galokio, which is this hand that comes out of the water, which is really just Raz's psychic construct. Raz is so afraid of water because of the curse put on his family that every time he comes near water, this creepy hand comes out and tries to grab him and pull him under, which is all happening inside of Raz's head. In Psychonauts 2, you'll get to find out who put this curse on Raz's family, where it came from, and what he can do about it. The story you uncover about the curse put on Raz's family links back into the story of the foundation of the Psychonauts, and Raz finds out that his family and the Psychonauts family are actually more intertwined than he believed. So there's a lot of mystery to discover for the player and Raz and his family and his friends as they explore the connections between his family and the Psychonauts and what it all has to do with Maligula. Maligula is one of the first villains the Psychonauts ever fought. She's a powerful psychic and she's a mass murderer, and she's been believed to be dead for many years, but there's a lot of unknown things going on behind the scenes and a lot of mysteries and a lot of plots for the player to uncover in Psychonauts 2. So that's it. Thanks for taking this deeper look into Psychonauts 2 with me. The game is coming out August 25th, and you can pre-order now. So I'll stop talking so you can go and do that. Thanks for watching.
That was a lot of info.
Tim, did Psychonauts ever do anything for you, and does this new one do anything for you?
You know, I've been quiet for a reason on this. Psychonauts was never, it just never grabbed me. It's a personal thing. It never felt right to me. And I'm a big 3D platformer guy. I love it. I love that people love it. James Willems, obviously, it's his Tony Hawk's Pro Skater. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I love it.
Totally.
Even back when it came out, like, it was revered. Like, it was 100%. The fucking 3D platformer for people to play. And I recommend people give it a shot for sure. It just wasn't my vibe.
I gotta go back and finish the first one.
What if we open the doors and run? Just run. No stopping, no shooting, just straight to the bridge. Get that flasher! Heavy. Really? We call them tanks.
I call them brutes. From Latin Brutus.
We'd sound smart calling them brutes.
Eon, you don't want to get in here.
The current poll up right now is Tim Schafer, the Tim Burton of video games.
I can see it.
It was funny the way he was kind of explaining things. I was like, this sounds like if Jeff Goldblum was trying to explain this story to me. His like word choicing and stuff.
It's Chet Felicek. Chet, thank you for being here.
Oh, thanks for having me.
Now, talk to me about this game, the Anacrusis. What's the concept? How did you come up with this?
You don't hear a lot of people named Chet these days.
Late 60s, early 70s sci-fi. I love
Chet Hunter.
Logan's Run.
Yes.
Not a lot of them.
Galactic Space 1999. That wasn't cheesy to me.
Tim, you look great.
That was just the way sci-fi.
Thank you.
Hey,
KRD.com/kindafunny.
We have those cool colors, cool shapes, fantastical sci-fi weapons and creatures.
Oh, they're talking about this game that I thought looked
We wanted something
pretty
that was
cool.
positive about the players, the characters. You're working together. Sure.
Blessing, how was GameSpot?
aliens. Sure, you're fighting them.
It was really
Sure,
fun.
you're trying
It was
to
really
save
fun.
Earth.
Talked about
But you're doing
Elden
it in
Ring.
a positive, uplifting
Sure you did.
way.
Of course you did.
Really?
After the pandemic, I don't think I could go back
Yeah,
to
man.
dreary
Who would have thought me and Tabor being in the call and talking about Elden
Tabor
Ring?
was there? I'm very
Wanted to
surprised
deliver
about that.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
now, talk to me about the gameplay.
Damn, look how good Parris Lilly looks.
Bless. You were on the GameSpot thing, so you probably missed it. But the moment of E3 just happened, where they announced Xbox Design Lab for the new controllers.
Wait,
all right.
You're joking.
No, I'm not joking. That's not the end.
Wait, hold
not the end.
Hold up, Mike just joined. Mike needs to hear this.
All right, Mike. You there?
Mike, I'm here.
You just missed the moment of E3. Xbox announced Xbox Design Lab coming for the new controllers, and it was a great announcement. It was fantastic. But then after that, they were showing off a whole bunch of them. And Parris made his custom one, and they zoomed in on it. And the name that he put engraved on it was Caw Can't Cook.
Oh my God.
He talks about it. He's like, I put this on because my friend Khalif Adams has Spawn on me, but he can't. And like, there was like a whole segment about it, and the internet's like on fire about it. It was so good.
That's so good.
Awesome. Those two are the best.
So
and
if you want to go find your perks, or if you want to go find new weapons, you have to go off that main path and go search for that. And it makes
you drifted away.
He didn't hear what you said.
Mike went underwater.
Let's double the health of all the enemies.
Right.
And then we do something.
Also, if you guys want to
Barrett,
turn
let
on
us
your
know when you want us to
cameras.
turn on.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Play with the same 3 friends every week. And you guys have been killing it for 10 weeks in a row. Well, let's mix it up.
Mike, you
let's
too,
just throw
if
something
you're
crazy
joining in
that
here.
you've never seen before, and 1 million aliens. And we can do that because normally when you do difficulty, you've got to be here because you don't know what happened before or after. But here, we have these really big peaks and valleys, so we can bring you to nothing for a little bit.
I'm scared.
And then have it go crazy.
I love that it's scaling to your basically your skill level, right?
Exactly.
So that's fantastic.
You want me to turn my camera back off?
Kind of deeper dive more into the perks.
Yeah, I'll ride the lightning
So
on
for
this
the
one.
perks, we looked at a lot of games where you start with, let's say, a class-based thing, and then if you're playing with your same friends, well, I'm going to be support, you're going to be carry, someone else will be help. Like we kind of get into a rut of what systems we're playing and how we're playing. And so we want to be able to mix that up so that
It sucks that this game has to go against Back 4 Blood.
Choosing your role based on the perks you're getting. So perks come in this.
Like if we had more of a Left 4 Dead like itch and there was like more of a void of it still, like this would probably
like if there was no other Left 4 Dead clone happening,
and so you might have it where
then there might be a little bit more fervor for this one,
which is kind of like a melee shove. Well, you can invest into that, and you can have one that you can now recharge your pulse faster, and now it protects your other players around you, and then it gets more powerful, and you can actually do damage.
In the chat,
with it. So all of a sudden,
Tunster says, Chet talking here sounds a lot like Aaron Paul's buddy in Breaking Bad.
And knocking down aliens
I hear
and
it.
everyone else blasting.
Yeah.
Or you'll get a bunch of perks that are about investing in one weapon and making it
the
where
guy goes like dollar
bills, that actually
y'all.
does damage other aliens around. So now you're the sniper hanging back.
The guy who is also in
really
Final
mixing
Fantasy
up
VII.
that kind of experience that you're having, and you'll earn these perks as you play.
That's
so the more
right,
you play,
Badger.
the more perks you have.
Badger, yeah.
Since we
yeah,
want
I
the game
forgot
to
he was
always
in
be
FF7.
Great to play with your
That's funny.
friends.
This is the best thing about that game.
If you've been playing, let's say you play with me. I've been playing 400 hours. You're brand new.
Yeah.
Well, we share the perks. So you get all the perks that I have available to me as well. So that way you get to have that experience of all that craziness in your game as well. Because it's all about having fun with your friends.
Right, the shared experience with your friends. Now, we kind of already talked about the inspirations, like 2000. I looked at that and it was like 2001: Space Odyssey was the first thing I thought of. But let's talk more about the enemies in the game. What was some of the inspirations for that?
Since
So the
Mike has
enemies,
disappeared, I got a
kind of look at it of how we want the players to behave,
just so he can
as
be
well as
here in
feel.
our hearts.
And so we bring in outside playtesters every week.
Uncharacteristically quiet, Mike Howard, on this Xbox reaction stream, but he's just so into it.
Even if we send something like the Brute at them that spreads them apart, they quickly form back together. So we created something called the Spawner. Yeah. And this is just a good example of kind of how we approach the design. The Spawner you hear off in the distance.
Has this segment done anything for you guys in this game?
And you know what it's doing. It's spawning things.
Looks cool. The gameplay trailer they had before, I thought the writing was really funny.
They're going to be unrelenting until you kill the Spawner.
That's all accurate, but it's just not a world that I would look at and go, I really want to get involved in that. I want to be living in that world.
We've got a guy down. We've got to go over there. I'm not sticking with my team. I'm going to go hunt that thing down. I'm going to go kill it. So you go run off. You kill it. You're feeling good about it. And all of a sudden you realize, wait, where are my teammates? I'm all alone. There's other specials here. Oh, I'm in trouble. And it's trying to create those kind of moments where it's mixing it up, where you always want to have it where it kind of almost takes turns of one player's the last one surviving, they're the last one up, and they're helping everybody else up and get it going. And so really looking at having those enemies give you those moments for how it affects the players.
Bonus question for you. What does the anacrusis actually mean?
So anacrusis is a musical term. It means the notes before the song, the little kind of intro. And for this, we have a character, Boris, that you never meet. And all the players just talk about it because I thought it was fun to have this character that you never really are sure who they are because it's everyone
Just
else
really
describing
quick, y'all.
it.
I just want to show this off because this is really
the
cool.
barge that you're on, that you're launching these missions, the Anacrusis.
Someone did like a 360
and
throwback.
Sure thought there was this is
that's
the main
cool.
event. This is not
cool.
us against the aliens with fighter
Well,
pilots.
I'm watching back Parris show off the cock and cook controller. That is incredible.
That is the best video game burn of all time.
Fantastic.
Everything that you talked about today.
It was
sounds
his
amazing.
delivery
I can't wait to
too.
get
Like
my
Parris,
hands on it,
like
but
didn't miss a beat
Chad,
and kept
thank you so
presenting
much
it
for
as if
being
it was
here. I really
news.
appreciate it. Thanks for having me. We've got so much more coming in today's show, including Obsidian Entertainment with Grounded, iLlusions and Let It Roll with Shredders, and 343 Industries with a deeper dive on that incredible multiplayer trailer for Halo Infinite. But first, the original Stalker was one of the most intense and eerie games of its era. Next year, we return to Chernobyl for Stalker 2. And Zach from GSC Game World has a closer look at the game. Let's check it out.
It's him saying,
"Hi everyone,
I want every single time I pick up this controller
it has
to
been
play the
several
Xbox,
days since the
be a
gameplay
reminder
review of
that he
Stalker
can't
2.
cook."
Our game now
God
has a
damn.
subtitle,
Holy
Heart
shit.
of Chernobyl, and a release date of April 28, 2022. By the way, the pre-orders are opened for both PC and Xbox. You're obviously here willing to learn more, so here are several details about Stalker 2, Heart of Chernobyl you probably didn't know yet. So let's dive a little bit deeper in our trailer. This section of the trailer is a bandit's gunfight on the chemical plant. You can see the actual in-game animations of picking up the weapons and installing modifications on the go. The thing is, you can notice the teaser of a new faction. We are not showing the exact moment right now because we wonder if you can discover it yourself. You may actually recognize the exact location on the swamps. If you played Stalker Clear Sky, you may remember this place. The time did the job, but the tower is definitely still there. Also in this scene, you can see a brand new detector Skiff is using for the artifact hunt. Because of its form, it's called Gilka, which actually means a branch in the Ukrainian. The artifact Skiff is going to collect is called Jelly. In-game, it recovers your stamina. Moving to the Dancing Man scene. Before you ask it, yes, there will be a lot of characters with an interesting fate in the zone. His hideout is located in Chernobyl too. That's a town not so far from Pripyat you have seen in the gameplay teaser.
Вот это культура! А ты одно и то же по кругу лобаешь. Сам же просто.
The campfires. A small isle of safety in the unwelcoming zone. A place where you can finally have a little rest before another foray. You have seen the campfire during the first trailer in the Rookie village. Of course, it wasn't the only one.
I made it. I'm back.
I put a still image of you at one point.
When I saw it, I was like, all right, now that means I can turn on my camera, so that's good.
We're not ready to show you all of them, so let's stick to the old good Bloodsucker for now.
Считаешь, я не думал, как обойтись
So they kicked off with Hellblade?
Она не могла быть свободна, пока
No, they
он
started
жив.
with
Forza, yeah.
Sorry, my notes started
okay.
there, but I didn't. That was when I was just enjoying it. And I was like, oh wait, you guys need me to take notes for what you missed.
Я не отдам ее.
But it's also like
Зона дала мне
the
жизнь.
news is like
Новую
few and far
жизнь.
between. It's just more about
которую я
him having a
готов
good time and
вернуть,
showing
если
off the shit, having
потребуется.
deeper looks and getting more information. But
Cool.
Я буду защищать.
And we didn't see anything of Hellblade.
yes, no. Like you saw, they were very clear that like this isn't
animations.
the game, this isn't gameplay, but
We
it's our
made a
tech
small
and us
behind
recording
the scenes
sounds.
video from
Like this
our motion
montage
capture
of like
studio.
the game's gonna be fucking hot. That's pretty much all it was.
The face photogrammetry process makes the final result
It was
as
fucking
close
hot.
to the reality as possible.
Она не могла быть свободна, пока он жил. Я буду защищать ее. Всегда.
The Gauss gun you're seeing in this section is one of the most powerful weapons from the arsenal.
Похоже, пора.
И куда ты теперь?
В Припять.
Moving to the final thing for today, the man at the end of the trailer is Sergei Grigorovich, the creator of the Stalker series.
Удачной охоты, Сталкер.
Thanks for joining us today.
That facial
we can't
animation
wait for
is
the moment when the time comes to enter
insane.
the zone on April 28, 2022.
As you just saw, Stalker 2 is shaping up to be something special, and I can't wait to play it next year when it comes to Xbox, PC, and Game Pass on day one. On Sunday, we saw the trailer for A Plague Tale Requiem, the sequel to the award-winning A Plague Tale Innocence. And for those of you who are fans of the original, we've got some good news for you too.
Amicia, I want to see Mommy.
Where is he?
If history was in your hands, what would you build?
Hey, Bless.
The king is back.
On your Games Daily Rundown, I'm just highlighting the stuff that's like, I would say is news from this. I mean, I'm sure you'll want to run through what happened, what was shown, but like, hey, this is actual.
Thank you both for being here.
Thanks for having us on, Parris.
Absolutely. my legacy, age player, I'm excited for this. Now, you had some news at the briefing. Can you kind of talk about that a little more?
Well, I mean, fans got to have their first looks at two more of our launch civilizations, the Abbasid dynasty and the French.
Yes.
And they bring a lot to the table, totally different ways to play. But I'm really excited to show them those. And then also, people got to see their first taste of naval gameplay, which we haven't shown off at all, except for a little teaser at the end of fan preview.
Paying off that tease. And we also revealed one more of our campaigns, the 100 Years' War, and Joan of Arc made an appearance. We also announced that the game is coming October 28th, and it's coming to Windows Store, Steam, and of course, Game Pass for PC.
Now, earlier you mentioned the two civilizations, the Abbasid dynasty and the French. Can you kind of go into detail about that?
Sure. Yeah, I guess I'll start. The Abbasid. So the Abbasid dynasty is this amazing technological powerhouse of a civilization that has a really unique mechanic that we're bringing to them in Age of Empires 4. It's actually unique across all the civs that are in the game, in that they construct this bastion of knowledge called the House of Wisdom, and they can keep upgrading it with different wings, and that gives them a host of incredible technologies that leverage their army, their economy, their resources. But beyond even that, they have an incredible amount of fun units, especially camels. Unique to the civs again, the launch civs for Age of Empires 4 is camel units. And these camels have amazing abilities to buff the other units in their armies. And so you have these wonderful diverse mixes where you always want to be throwing different units together, but always including camels for the different kinds of buffs and advantages you can give to your civilization. It's great.
And the French are really, really strong with trade. They've got some great options that are going to make your late game really, really interesting. They have a landmark called the House of Commerce. And for your units, you're going to really want to focus on knights and lancers. Those are your powerhouses. But the French actually made an appearance in the trailer as part of the 100 Years' War campaign. And as you can see, Joan there, I'm actually wearing her around my neck. She's a feminist icon from history. This young woman who led with her convictions and led a battle, and she was a teenager. And so she's beloved. She's in Age 2 in a campaign, and so we know Age fans are going to love seeing her again. And the 100 Years' War, with the multiple missions, like the Battle of the 30, are really going to bring that period of history to life. And all the live action footage that you saw in the trailer on Sunday, that's all from within the game. Wow. We have these multiple documentaries that will play between the missions to storytell and really bring it to life as you journey through the 100 Years' War.
Yeah, taking a completely different approach to how we're telling a story in Matter of fact, I don't think I've seen any game that does what we're doing in terms of how we're showing the story and how we're getting people involved with history. So
it really,
super exciting.
Really brings it to life. And I've learned things about English history from these documentaries I didn't learn in school.
Lore
so
in this
they're
game is
educating as well as moving the game forward.
The lore.
Now, community feedback is always important in any game, but especially in something like Age. Now, how have you taken some of that feedback into development for Age 4?
So we had the community council back in
Are you caught up on all
we
the
wanted
lore?
For a good 5 seconds, I was like, I didn't know Tim was that into Age of Empires.
Game for them. So they've been hands-on with the game for a really long
like,
time
oh,
and
shit.
giving us their honest
Not
feedback.
know
We then take that to the
No,
game
I'm just a
team,
human
and they look
shit
at making
post.
changes based on what they've told us. So they've influenced things from the look of the UI icons, the influence system that's built into Age 4. They really, really helped us with their viewpoints make the game better. And one thing they really pushed for, actually, was naval.
Yeah, it's amazing.
what the
We
Koch
actually,
Media
if you
Showcase
look
could
at
have
a lot
been.
of the data. We see data on all of the Age of Empires games that people play.
Shocking what it's like to
And
show
naval
gameplay
is
for
one of
games,
those
you know.
things that in
That might
Age
not
2,
be
a
your
lot of
jam.
people
It's still
miss
exciting
it,
to see
which
it.
is crazy, right?
Rather
But
than just hear about it
if
for
it
30
wasn't
minutes.
there, people would miss it so much. And
Crazy
sometimes
what
we have
happens
to
when you
ask
put
those
money
hard
into
questions
production.
when we're making games, right?
Or
We
show.
say, like, do we
Well,
do we
also,
need to
I
do
mean,
this?
straight up,
And it was
shout out to
something that
Xbox for
we
doing this,
felt
man. We always
weird
talk
about.
about
I went
this.
to the
Know
council
the
and said,
avenue,
hey,
know what you're doing, and I think it's awesome
even
that
you
they're
guys
like,
don't
hey,
play
here's a
naval all the time.
fantastic
Like,
showcase,
do we need
and
it?
then,
And they're like,
hey,
no,
we
we
want
see
to
your
go
point, but
deeper.
you know
We
you
know
have to
people
have
want
this.
stuff.
And
You can get
it
that
was
in a
great.
separate
It was a great
thing.
reaffirmation.
Yep.
And
I mean, it's
we
just
do
like
well
Nintendo
with things like
Treehouse
that at
Live,
our
right?
council to
Like,
make sure that
figure
we
out a
have
way to
a
show
game
it.
that's
This is,
great
I like
for
this a
all
lot more. I
different
put my
kinds of
tweet I put up
players. Love Age of
at the start of
Empires,
this was I love this
And now
1-2
we're
punch from
heading towards
Xbox.
launch.
Bombastic
People are
My
gonna
Limited
get
Trailer
hands-on for the
Gameplay
first time,
Showcase
so we
Sunday,
had a
followed
fan
by this
preview
deep
event
dive,
back in
devs front and
April,
center
and
showcase.
we
Great
looked at the
stuff.
feedback from
I
that
put I
and
prefer
made
this
changes
targeted
since
look
then.
more than
So,
Nintendo
you
Treehouse's
let us
post direct
know that you
gameplay
didn't feel
streams.
like the weapon
I like
scaling
those
was quite
too. It's
right,
not me
so we
saying
went ahead
like
and
throw the
we've
baby out
improved
with the
that.
bathwater,
That
but
is
I
fantastic.
prefer
Now, you
this.
actually hit on
Here's
something
B-roll
that I
about what we're
wanna jump
talking about.
into
Here's the
because
points we're trying to
Age has
make,
been around
rather
for a
than
while.
sometimes the gameplay
There's been
stream for
previous
Nintendo
games,
can just
but
be
you
like,
continue to make
fuck, I
content for
fucked that. Or
those.
no,
So
not fuck, but you know
what's
what I
some
mean.
of the new
Them not
challenges
playing the
development
game,
with
but
some of
not
the
actually
legacy
like,
games?
okay, well, if we get
Well, we have
if we
a new
get past
expansion
it,
coming
oh
in
my
August
god,
for
this
Age 2
Goomba
Definitive
got in
Edition
my
called Dawn of
way.
the Dukes. And in that expansion, we're going to be adding 2 more civilizations, the Bohemians and the Poles, and 3 new campaigns for the Lithuanians, the Bohemians, and the Poles. And those are great.
Yeah, this feels like a
great
best of both
stories
worlds
about,
for what
really
old E3
cool,
was,
like,
where you would often have
brother,
times during actual
brother, sister
presentations
teams
where they
that
would
work
sit down with
together to
devs
kind
and
of
it's
rise
like,
up these
all
empires,
right,
and
this
I
is bringing
can't
down
wait
the
for people
pace
to
of the
get
show. This
their
feels like
hands on
them
it.
having
And
their
the great
cake and
thing is
eating
that
it
if you
too.
pre-order Age of Empires 4, you get that
In a way that's
for
also
free.
exciting
That's
for us,
part
'cause,
of
like,
the
we're
deal for
reacting to this
pre-ordering Age
because it's
4
good.
on the different platforms. And for H3, of course, because we don't want to leave them out either. H3 Definitive Edition, we're hard at work on an African PDLC with new civilizations and campaigns.
Yeah,
and I can't wait
H3,
to show more. We're not ready to talk about that one just yet.
But if you don't want to miss out, go to ageofempires.com, become an insider. You get little sneak peeks at things we've got coming and chances to get hands-on with content early.
Yeah.
Now, shifting us back to the present in Age 4, what's some of the things people can expect as we lead up to launch?
Well, we've got a bit of an exclusive for you today. So we're going to name our remaining launch civs and our remaining launch campaigns. We're not going to show them just yet. That'll come closer to launch. But our 2 remaining civilizations are the Holy Roman Empire and the Rus. And the names of our 2 remaining campaigns are the Rise of Moscow and the Mongol Empire.
All that sounds fantastic. Please.
No, I was just going to say I'm so excited. I get all gushing about things like this. You're going to have to wait a little more to get information and see more detail on those civilizations and campaigns, but we've also got, a ton of stuff planned. We have a beta that's going to be coming up. So, you can go to ageofempires.com to sign up be an insider to get in our beta and get a chance to actually get hands-on with the game. And then, of course, again, we're launching October 28th. Yep.
Not long to wait.
On Steam, on Windows 10, and on Game Pass for PC. So it should be great any way you want to play.
We're just really excited.
That is great, and I'm sure Age fans all around the world are really looking forward to that. So, again, Adam, Emma, thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having us on.
No, thank you. Massive battles across land, air, and sea have been a hallmark of the Battlefield series from the beginning. In this next video, design director Daniel Berlin will tell us more about what DICE can do when it brings all-out warfare to the world's most powerful console.
There's a poll right now. Should we change history to lore? And, yes.
I mean, I'd be more interested. I would have been way more interested in school if it was like, let's learn about the lore of the Roman Empire. Like, oh,
cutting edge technology.
So far, 69% are saying yes.
I think just having the
oh my god,
the
Xbox themselves just tweeted out a closer look at the new Xbox Design Lab controller. CC at COD Jenkins.
So much more tools that makes it more Battlefield than it's been in a very long time. We really enable our players to be really, really creative with the tools we give them.
I'm actually excited for this. I've never been a Battlefield person, but seeing some of this gameplay has me super hyped to try it out. I think
and being able to say,
playing
like, hey,
so many battle royales over the year has made me more open to the idea of playing a shooter with these gigantic lobbies. That's never been a thing I was into before the last couple of years.
So in 2042, you will experience 3 really distinct experiences. The one we're talking about right now, we're talking about today, is the experience that we call the all-out warfare experience. Now, this is the place you go in 2042 when you want to have those classic Battlefield experiences, this massive war where it's, you know, air, land, and sea just coming together in these massive battles. But we've actually made a distinction between 2 separate experiences within the all-out warfare experience, and that's Conquest, which is very much a staple for our franchise. It's something that our fans know and love, and we're just taking the Conquest experience to the max this time around. Conquest is all about the freedom, the access to the sandbox, being able to choose where you fight, how you fight, where you want to go. But it's also experience that will allow players to kind of choose their own pacing. And there's moments in Conquest where it's complete chaos, when a lot of players they just converge on a single point and the chaos goes up to the maximum. But there's also moments within Conquest where, you know, you've just had that big battle, and now you've won that battle, and you go like, okay, you bring up your map and you have a conversation with your friends, and you say like, okay, where do we want to go next? Oh, we need to go over there to that state. Okay, how do we get there? Oh, let's call in a vehicle. And a vehicle, you can call it in wherever you want, and then your friends, you hop in.
This history poll is very interesting. Should we change the history of the lore? 77% yes, 6% no, and then 17% lol what?
Freedom to the sandbox. And right next to that lives the other experience within All Out Warfare, which is Breakthrough. And this is a significantly more guided experience. It takes you on a journey throughout the entire map. And in Breakthrough, there's an attacker and there's a defender team. And we kind of compress them into fighting head-on in a specific space. So the time to action is short, and the level of chaos is really, really high. There's helicopters, and there's tanks, and there's infantry. There's everything happening, and it's just complete chaos in Breakthrough. So All Out Warfare kind of takes these 2 fan-favorite staple modes, and we make
look at this fast 8-ass shit.
Lean into their specific strength. And that's on the Xbox Series X and the Xbox Series S, you will actually be able to play All Out Warfare experiences up to 128 players, which is a double to what we've done in the past in the franchise. And this is really, you know, you can have those moments when you're playing 2042, when you're sitting in the helicopter and you look down.
Honestly, that's one of my favorite Andy impressions.
You know, sea of tanks, soldiers,
and I love how seamlessly you can go from that to Jason Statham.
Just moving in unison, and you kind of get this feeling that you're part of something bigger, like a really, really massive army. And that's the strength of the massive play spaces that we're building. And we're able to really make this play really well. We've altered our way of handling level design. Because it wasn't just as simple as, you know, just making it bigger and then portion the locations out. It doesn't really work that way. So we've leaned into a new type of design mentality that we're calling clustering. Now, what clustering means that you will have a massive battlefield in front of you. But within this massive battlefield, you will have particular clusters of objectives. So the map Hourglass is set in Doha, Qatar. And it is, I'm not going to go into any specifics about exactly how large it is, but it is definitely one of the larger maps that we will have in 2042. It's one of my favorite maps personally because it has some really, really
IGN
cool
getting in and dunking on Ka. IGN tweets, Xbox Design Lab returns, letting players create custom Xbox or Series X controllers directly from Microsoft. You can write whatever you like on them, like #1 Xbox gamer or Ka can't cook.
as a battlefield player that infantry is skulking around inside the buildings, but when you're in your tank or your attack helicopter, you can just can destroy those buildings and get access to the infantry. And you can go further east and you'll find a bunch of high-rises,
It's crazy because I keep looking at this and wanting to be like, I want to see gameplay because I just don't believe it, and then it just seamlessly transitions to gameplay, and I'm like, well, I guess I should believe it. Like, holy shit.
If you want to change it up even more, you can basically skydive off of the skyscrapers, and if you're playing a particular specialist that has access to a wingsuit, you can actually glide across the entire map space and get yourself all the way over to the stadium, which is on the east side of the map.
Yeah, so much of this seems insane. I can't believe how much is going on.
You go when you really want to just take out your shotgun
while you're having
and
these
have
huge
some
lobbies
close
going.
quarters combat. So the mentality here of building larger maps, but creating locations within that
Hey everybody,
map
I'm back.
where there's
Sorry
a
about that.
particular type of gameplay. And
We
with
missed
the
you, Mike.
Conquest game,
I had to come back to Battlefield. I was currently watching I was watching the Pete Hines interview to prep for Kind of Funny Games Daily. Wanted to hear the tone in his voice, what he thought about that. But had to come back for Battlefield because I'm amped up about big all-out sandbox warfare. And to hear Bless get excited about this, pretty pumped up about that, Bless. I like that. I like that energy.
I'm ready to play this with you.
Oh my God.
You're gonna have to be my Sherpa. You're gonna have to like teach me the ropes.
It's so exciting, Bless, because we're going to squad up and we're going to be able to go anywhere, right? They're talking about this giant map in Conquest, and like, we might not even see a section of the map. We might not even see certain enemies. We're just going to go wild out there, so I'm so excited. And right here, we're going to see the plus system. Bang, to be able to switch up your gun and put on different variations to it is really, really cool. I love that.
There's also the possibility of
Mike, I hope you're ready for a very exciting summer of shooting games, because like you're gonna Sherpa me through this, you're gonna Sherpa me through Halo. We're playing Halo, Rainbow Six, Extraction. We're gonna play Call of Duty. Like it's about to be a hot boy fall.
I was about to say you were saying summer. I was like, that none of these games are coming out like right now.
Yeah, we need a good name for it. Like first-person shooter fall.
I'm so excited. Tim promised me that he would put the headset in his ear while still playing game with us and making $1 million phone deals. You know what I mean? Like he said, he'll play Halo with us and just go wild on stream.
Oh, I can't wait for Halo.
Mike, are we finishing the fight? Are we gonna go?
Yeah. And Barrett said he's gonna play through the campaigns with me, and I'll do that in a heartbeat, Barrett.
Well, we've been trying to set up. We've been waiting for Nick to get the computer for us to do the 4-player.
Finally,
with Andy.
What's happening around you? That's something that you only get in Battlefield. That's why I love Battlefield.
No, you and I, we're doing that. I'm happy to be finally able to tune in here. Age of Empires, people were asking my gauge on that. So hyped for Age of Empires. Can't wait to jump back into that. So exciting.
From Battlefield 2042. And
Chad, I do need your input on what we're calling this fall.
During the showcase on Sunday, we announced an
exciting Blazing Fall
between
Blazing Fall,
Xbox and Disney with Sea of Thieves, a Pirate's Life, a free update.
Badass. Has he talked about Halo yet?
And his crew sailing
okay,
into
good.
the Sea
I'm
of
very
Thieves.
excited.
Today, we're premiering a brand new trailer.
Frag Out Fall.
I like Frag Out Fall.
That's a good one.
When you team up with Jack Sparrow for this all-new adventure.
Frag Boy Fall.
Wait to be a part of this crew. Let's take
Fallout Boy.
You will always remember this is the day your crew was joined by Captain Jack Sparrow.
Does this do anything for you, Mikey?
To the Sea of Thieves.
Oh yeah, it does a lot for me. It definitely adds a layer of like, now I want to go back and try for a little bit. I would like to play through this campaign, but I think this is a good way to draw in a lot of players like me who are either burnt out on the game or 50-50. I think this definitely gets you excited.
Mike, I'm downloading it. I'm back. This is one of the things I have on my to-do list. So you got to take me through. We got to do this. We got to get in there.
How many crabs do we have to collect? That's what I need to know. We've done it before in Kingdom Hearts 3. It was absolutely horrible, but Jack Sparrow was there for the ride.
My uniqueness. They're coming aboard! Keep your crusty claws off me!
Davy Jones wishes you destroyed, and I shall oblige him.
What is that infernal noise? It's Captain Infernal Noise to you, mate! Sparrow! Destroy that statue, and there'll be the double to pay.
Enough of this! Hear me, my daughter! Come more than me!
Whatever they've told you is not true. Unless it's flattering, in which case, it's all true, but they left out the best bits. Savvy?
Hey everyone, Joni, executive producer on Sea of Thieves here. So we've shown you the cinematic trailer, we've shown the gameplay trailer, but there's still more to come. So on Sunday at 11 AM Pacific, 2 PM Eastern, 7 PM UK, and 8 PM in Europe, we have the Sea of Thieves: A Pirate's Life showcase. So this is a real deep dive just into all of the
When is this? When is it?
Behind this
That's Sunday.
With Disney. How did we bring Jack Sparrow into our world? How did we capture his humor and his charm and all of the kind of characters that are coming in as a part of this? You're going to get a first look at a couple of tales.
I like the idea of them just taking it down.
You're going to get some behind the scenes
showcases
with our
at every showcase.
team, and also
This is another showcase. This is the waterfall effect.
Yeah, like on Sunday they're like, oh yeah, and see more at the
everybody's
Xbox
using,
Game
so we'll
Showcase
see you on
Extended.
Sunday.
And here they're like, we got a Sea of Thieves: A Pirate's Life showcase coming this Sunday, and then on Sunday at that they're like, oh, we got a Pirate's Life, Pirates of the Caribbean showcase. See more of the game there.
Flight sim.
Greg, what do you make of the abandoned shit that's been happening on Twitter, where they're talking about announcing a game that starts with S, ends with L? Have you been keeping up with this?
No, I've been off the grid for 8 days. What, abandoned?
So you remember the game from a few months ago, Abandoned, that people thought was a Kojima game?
Oh, I did see some tweet about this. Yeah, I did see some tweet about this. Yeah,
Blue Box Studios. They basically made a tweet the other day saying, oh, we're about to announce the real name of Abandoned, and it starts with S and it ends with L.
So
and then, right after that tweet, they were like, oh, guys, sorry, this isn't associated with Kojima or Silent Hill. We didn't realize you guys would realize that. I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? What the fuck is happening?
It's that thing where they've gone full circle on it, where they went in, they're like, God, this fucking sucks. We worked hard in this game, and y'all think it's that. This sucks. And now they're like, well, why don't we own it? And like, now it's too late. Should have done that from the beginning.
Yeah, the most recent shit I saw was somebody taking the name of the studio head, putting it into Google Translate, and it translates to, I think, Hideo or Kojima or something like that. I don't believe it for a second, chat. I don't believe it.
Now, Mike, for a long time I've been talking, since the announcement of Flight Sim was coming to Xbox, that I would fly Andy back home to Texas. So that's going to need to be a, 4.5-hour stream we do at some point, 5-hour stream at some point. Because I got to do my checks,
you can get one of these
obviously.
jets right here, and it's going to be like an hour, man.
I'm just throwing it out there, guys. I feel what we need to do for that is, Greg, you need to take us all on a trip.
Sure.
I got a bunch of seats.
I was going to say, we have to do it in person,
oh my
right?
God.
Hell yeah.
And imagine we'll just on the theater screen be flying through the skies. I'll get a couple fans blowing us.
But we'll get to that in just a second.
Corey, we need your gift powers more than ever, Corey.
Blown away by the stunning visuals and the depth of simulation. Joining us is
Corey. Email it to me so I can put it up natively as soon as you get it done.
York, thank you for being here. Really appreciate it.
That was a fantastic shot.
Those are cool.
Yeah.
That was a fantastic shot.
I got my jacket as well. So you had some announcements this Sunday about Microsoft Flight Simulator. Can you go into that a little bit?
Yeah, it was super cool. We announced that Microsoft Flight Simulator is coming to Xbox Series X and S. And the franchise has an awesome history on the PC. It's going back all the way to 1982. It predates Office and Windows. And when we launched last year, it was on the PC only. And it was a really warm welcome from simmers and from press and from people who have never flown Flight Sim before. Yeah. So we're super excited that it comes to console now. And so for the first time in the history of the franchise.
So I've been playing Flight Simulator since last year on PC. I have a 3080, but it is now coming to the Xbox Series X and S. What sorcery are you doing to get this running on both of those consoles? I have to know.
I think it's a combination of two things, really. first off, it's a super powerful console.
Yes.
And then we are really using the Microsoft tech stack in an interesting way. So as you know, Series X and S is like a beast. The GPU is awesome, super powerful CPU with multiple cores, RAM, fast RAM. We can run in 4K. That's super important for planes because you sit there in the cockpit, you need to be able to read all the text. SSD, fast internet. So it's basically the equivalent of a really powerful high-end PC. And on top of that, on Flight Sim, we're using the Microsoft stack a lot. Like we have 2.5 petabyte of data. It's 1.6 million CDs sitting on Azure. And we're basically streaming that down as you go. And we also do machine learning algorithms up there, and that is how we build procedurally, in runtime, 1.5 billion houses and 2 trillion trees. So it's a combination of those two things. Super powerful console, super good use of the Microsoft tech stack. You get it to work on console.
That is fantastic. Now, with Xbox Game Pass, and with it coming to console, you're going to expose Flight Simulator to a lot of new gamers, right? So what are some of the things that you're going to do to make it more accessible to a wider audience?
So you're exactly right. We had a little bit of that last year when we launched because we knew the flight simmers, that's their hobby. They came in, they know everything about aviation, they know exactly what to do. But we had a lot of people come in through Xbox Game Pass on PC and basically tried for the first time. So even on the PC launch, we did a bunch of work on onboarding with tutorials. We gave some assistances, but now for this Xbox version, we're actually doing a ton more. And I actually brought you a little video. And so there's 5 things we did. The first thing, if you're becoming a pilot, the first thing you do is you do a discovery flight. It's basically, you have a flight instructor next to you. He does most of the work, he or she. And you get to steer the plane and feel really good about yourself, right? And so we said, we need to recreate that. So we picked 10 places on Earth, like some of the most compelling places, like Mount Everest, or Rio de Janeiro, or New York, or the pyramids. And we basically put you on a plane, it's ready to go.
He gave it as a George didn't
and all you need to do is fly and have fun. It really is an onboarding experience. It's super good. And then we noticed on the PC side that people really love to explore the world in Flight Sim. I did that. I've spent like a month in South America, and I've never been to South America. And
I love the video of Danny Pena reacting
to
only
visuals,
the glasses.
And so you didn't quite understand how everything fits together. So now we added labels, and Bing has all these labels basically for every POI, like famous place or river or mountain. So we have all those now, and we put that into the world map. And even if you go down and you try to plan out your flight, you can now see all the cities around you, and it's totally transformed.
Let's take a second to watch this.
Yeah, I sent this over. This is, of course, Danny over at Gamertag Radio, Parris' co-host. Watch his reaction to fucking Parris being a clown.
That's when I was doing...
I'm ready for the danger zone. We'll get to that in just a second. Microsoft Flight Simulator launched last year on PC. Reviewers and gamers alike were blown...
Which one it was.
Oh, that's so good. That is so good.
A performance indicator system. So basically it rates you and how you did, and you get a score. And honestly, I can speak for myself. Like, I'm totally motivated to get better and better and better. And with that, you learn more and more how you really fly. So it's been super successful, and I think it's going to help newcomers a lot. The next feature that we have is it's called Flight Assistant, which I use a lot. It's basically, so just imagine you fly over New York and you see. You want to actually just look at the landscape and look at the city, but you know eventually you want to go to Brooklyn Bridge. So on the flight instructor, you can now flight assistance. You can now click on, go to Brooklyn Bridge, and the AI, almost like a co-pilot next to you, will fly you to the Brooklyn Bridge, and you can just look around and have an interesting time. Same with airports, which are sometimes challenging for people. Like, you can click on the airport and say, please land me at, say, Newark Airport. And then the last thing is, if you really get yourself in trouble, like you stall out the plane or something like that, you can actually now click into, you can now go and basically say recover. And it's almost like the pilot is sitting next to you. It's super helpful. I think that people will love it. And the last thing was, we learned that everybody's good taking off, but some people are hesitant to land, specifically when you look at like big international airports and they seem scary and you need to talk to the air traffic controller and all that, super technical. So we added a new feature called Land Anywhere. Just let them land anywhere. And then when you do that, the first thing you see is 71%
I've landed multiple times into my house.
So we added
Jeff Grubb said I shouldn't be doing that, but I was doing it anyway. It was freaking awesome.
Or in rivers or
one of my favorites, there's a YouTube channel that just is landing inside college stadiums. So you know when they did Zoo, I was all about it. I was over there watching.
So cool. You can now
I will replicate that on my Xbox.
Things in combination will really make it easier for people who have never been in a flight sim, because it's, you know, we made a decision not to dumb down the flight sim. It's not easier. It's not gamified.
Right.
Like we gave assistances to help you learn how to actually fly a plane. I think we're going to achieve that.
So one thing on PC is there's a ton of flight accessories that you can use as far as various peripherals and controls. What are you going to be able to bring to the console that can somewhat replicate that experience?
Totally, yeah. It's a good news story. So there's two really good flight sticks already on the console. It's the Thrustmaster T-Flight HOTAS 1, if you have that. And then there's also the HOTI HOTAS flight stick. Yep. And so we fully support those two. And then we work with all the main top-notch peripheral makers, both on PC and Xbox. And all I can say is there are going to be some really good announcements coming up. Yeah. And for Core Simmer, I can say you can now play. We have the software to have a full Core Sim experience, and we'll have the hardware on Xbox. All for the first time on a console. It's going to be great.
Oh, that's going to be great. Now, we obviously had the funny start with the Top Gun Maverick expansion pack. You announced that. But can you go into a little more detail about that?
Yeah, I mean,
you can expect.
We couldn't be more excited, right? Like, I mean, it's really like a dream come true. If you think about entertainment and the franchises that celebrate aviation, you will actually come to Microsoft Flight Simulator and Top Gun, and it's a perfect marriage. So I can't say that much about it because the movie obviously is, you know, keeps everything's under wraps. But if you watch the trailer carefully, you saw there's some F/A-18s, and there's an aircraft carrier. There might be another plane. And then I can say is we're going to go fast, like really fast, and we're going to be in the danger zone with this one.
That is going to be great. Really looking forward to that. Now, as we wrap this up, there's not much else you can say about the Maverick expansion pack, but what else can people expect from Flight Simulator in the near future?
A lot. So ever since launch, we said we're going to launch and have a new update, like a big, meaningful update every single month. And we launched 9 months ago, and we had 9 updates. So we have something that's called World Updates, where we just pick a zone on Earth, like the United States or Japan or like England and Ireland, and we make that really better. Like we get the the best possible satellite imagery. We create an elevation map that basically makes the mountains look better. We create 3D cities. Like after launch, we launched London and Paris, and we also make missions. So we celebrate the planet, like with these updates, and we're just going to go around the planet. We're shipping.
Tim, I've been telling you for a long time you need to celebrate the planet more.
And then we also have something called
I'm going to get on it. I promise.
Thank you.
That's my plan for July.
There's been a lot of
talk about the flight sim community out there that knows tons about everything.
Yeah.
And
hey, I'm going back. I'm trying to work on the lore, trying to get caught up.
We're basically making the sim better and better. The goal is to make the ultimate sim. It's the perfect thing, totally authentic. And then on top of that, you should expect the unexpected. Just like with Maverick, which I don't think people really saw coming, there will be more of that. And I think all I can say is it'll get the gamers and the simmers both their hearts
Top
pounding.
Gun in
So
Flight Simulator and Pirates of the Caribbean
awesome.
in
Now,
Sea of Thieves. It's
I'm so excited
partnerships.
that more people are going to get to play Flight Simulator. I've been playing it on PC. I love it. I highly recommend everyone do the flight from LA to Paris. It's really good, very cathartic. But as we get out of here, I want to thank you so much for taking some time to talk about Flight Simulator. Can't wait for that expansion pack.
Thank you so much. It was awesome.
Thank you. Still to come, we have Grounded, Shredders, and of course, Halo Infinite.
Hey.
But first, one of the best PC games of 2020 was Hades, and it's got a ton of awards to prove it. Here's a closer look at what we can expect from Supergiant Games later this year on Xbox Series X and S.
We just announced that Hades, our Game of the Year winning roguelike dungeon crawler, is coming soon to Xbox, and I want to introduce you to some of the gods, ghosts, and monsters you'll meet in our rendition of the ancient Greek underworld. You don't need any prior interest in Greek myth to get into Hades, but as you play, maybe you'll get to wondering how much of this stuff comes from mythology. The answer is a whole lot. Greek myth is filled with wild, fascinating, often contradictory stories of these larger-than-life characters. The Olympians are a big, complicated family, always bickering and always pushing each other, and their portrayals in classical mythology inspired our portrayals in Hades. Let's start with Hades himself.
What is it now? I've a mountain of infernal parchment work.
He's often relegated to the role of villain in many modern adaptations of Greek myth, but in classical mythology, he's a complicated guy, and much more principled than some of his brothers or sisters. He's so fascinating, we made a whole game about him. As the god of the dead,
what's so
Hades
great
has an
is
imposing
this coming to
reputation live up
consoles.
so
It's going to
he
allow
even has
so
a
many more
monstrous
people to
pet
play it.
in the
Totally.
three-headed
Game
hound
Pass
of
even.
hell
Yeah,
on
Game
Cerberus.
Pass. My
The
God.
idea that this savage beast was still somebody's pet dog crystallized how we wanted to portray the gods in Hades, that despite being immortal and all-powerful, they're not so different from the rest of us. Though, let's not forget Zagreus. We've heard from many players who figured Zagreus was a god of our own creation. After all,
no one can
who's ever heard of Hades having any kids? But according to some ancient sources, he did.
Greetings, Father. My ransacking wasn't
Some ancient
denied, thank
lore.
you for asking. So I'll just be on my way again.
In classical mythology, Zagreus is a little-known chthonic god, meaning a god of the underworld, sometimes associated with Dionysus, the god of wine. But in other cases, he is associated with Hades. How could Hades have a son nobody knows about? How does he fit into the myths we do know of Hades? We were so drawn to answering these questions that they form the basis for the entire story of this game. If you're the prince of the underworld, who do you get as your personal trainer? That would be Achilles, a near-invincible warrior in his day, once called the greatest of the Greeks.
Good to see you, lad. Despite the circumstances, remember your training out there. The pain of death is but another obstacle.
Hades takes place after his untimely demise during the Trojan War, once he's had a lot of time to reflect on his life choices. Achilles lived in glory, so he's got an okay gig in the afterlife, but some wretched souls end up in a really bad spot in the underworld, and for better or worse, they get to meet Megara.
Ever stubborn, aren't you? Maybe my whip might make you reconsider whatever it is that you're attempting here.
She is one of the three
Richard in the
Fury
chat says,
sisters
"Everyone
tasked
is taught,
with
what more do you
torturing
need?"
some of the absolute worst souls for all eternity. And in our game, she's also tasked with making sure Zagreus doesn't make it out of the underworld. These two have a lot of history, and since the story of Hades keeps moving forward each time you play, the more you run into Megara, the better you'll get to know her. There's also Thanatos.
Legolas, yes, I have.
He may
beaten it.
decide to drop in on you when he isn't busy
your
whisking the
fucking
souls of the
face.
recently departed to the underworld.
Thought you
I
could
don't
just
think he
get
was
away
called
from
out.
me, did you?
Tim, you say the word,
He
I'll
is the
find this kid's
personification
address,
of death,
and I will
according to
send
Greek
Kevin to
myth.
bite him.
Though
Wait, have you
represents
cleared
more of
it,
a
or have
peaceful
you gotten
death
to,
than,
like, the
say,
true
the
end
kind
of
that
the
happened
Oh,
a
here
lot
comes
No,
Barrett.
I
Oh, wow.
Here comes
Barrett over here.
Barrett, everybody.
Fucking real gamer
In
over
the
here.
spirit of
No,
the
I
mythology,
haven't
We
either.
wanted our
I was
Thanatos
just-
to have a
I
gentler
feel like there
side.
is that differentiator.
Thanatos
Yeah,
has a couple
no.
of brothers
Whereas,
in Hades,
like
such
I
as
used to say, like,
Thanatos,
oh yeah, I beat
the
it, and then people would be
personification
like,
of
to me,
sleep.
like, oh, but did you get the real ending? Where you have to clear it 7 times.
Who's got
When
time
he's
for
not
that?
dozing on the job, Hypnos can comment on every single possible way you can die in this game, of the dozens and dozens of different possibilities. Where did all these gods of the underworld come from anyway?
Fuck, I might replay
According
this.
to the Theogony, an ancient Greek creation.
They're getting
by
me.
I wish there was
that
cross-save,
introduces
man.
all the gods and their ancestors.
I know that's
Many of the
complicated, but it'd be
chthonic
so
gods came
great.
from Nyx, the personification of night.
Darkness guide you, child. You have outgrown this house. Of that I am now certain. Should you return again here, I shall keep you safe.
She is a primordial goddess, meaning she is much older even than Hades or the Olympians. And in our game, she has an important role in the underworld, not the least of which is helping you unlock some of your hidden power. There are
People
30
are saying
different
in the chat
characters to
that
meet and
there might
grow
be
closer to
crossfade.
the more you play Hades, and we hope you enjoy getting to know them all.
Oh,
Some of them feel truly ancient and
People are
godlike.
saying, like,
Some are
wasn't there
funny,
crossfade
some are
between
scary.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I thought
Some
they
are
added it.
incredibly
I
inspiring.
thought it was for
and hope you
PC
do
though.
too.
I
Once
thought
you
it
get
was
to
PC
meet
Switch.
everybody when Hades comes to Xbox One and Series X on August 13th.
so what makes that Warhammer game ID at Xbox?
I have no idea. I've stopped trying to pretend to even try to understand Warhammer, Tim. And what the fuck Warhammer means as a franchise in this gaming industry. Maybe the devs for that specific game are like indies.
Well, no, didn't ID at Xbox? I mean, I think it just means independent games now at Xbox. So I'm sure it's like under their banner, right? That it's an independent game that they help bring over here or whatever.
Yeah, it just feels independent games is such a weird thing now. I mean, like this, but whatever. Who cares?
Here, off their official website, the ID at Xbox program enables qualified game developers of all sizes to unleash their creativity by self-publishing digital games on Xbox One and Xbox 10 or Windows 10. You know, okay. So I guess it's just the tool you use to do it, and not have to worry about having a publisher.
Please actually come out.
Somerville. That's a good looking one.
Okay, this is good. This is good. This is really.
There you go, Mike.
Send it, y'all. I can't wait. I'm so excited to see as well what they do with the share feature and how you can elevate that. Thinking of Skate 3 and what that was like is how can I get that free cam going off of insane, runs that I have and really capture that moment, but also make it my own. I'm really excited to see if they can elevate that in some way.
Is that blood? Hell yeah.
Sable.
Here.
Go big. Or never go home.
My birthday.
Here to tell us more about the Grounded update are Adam and Eric from Obsidian Entertainment. Gentlemen, thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having us. It's a pleasure to be here. Yeah, it's a real honor.
No, absolutely. Love Grounded, love everything that you guys have been doing with it. Now, my first question is this mushroom system. What can you tell me about that?
Yeah, so that's one of the big things for the Shroom and Doom update is mushrooms. We're really changing how
We're shrooming, Mike.
Yard is.
We're shrooming, dude.
Every mushroom that you see in the yard is now harvestable, which is really cool. So the small ones, the big ones, the big toadstools, the ones that you find in caves, now those were present in the yard before, but now you can actually harvest them and get mushroom stuff out of them. The next kind of part of that is that we're adding a couple base building elements.
Same thing, I got a mushroom tip out of it.
So you have to take all those mushrooms that you find.
Mike, come on, Mike, let your hair
after
E3.
Oven, which is another new building that we're adding.
It's gonna be a great Monday, everybody. Hold in the hang of it.
Bake the mushroom stuff into bricks, and then with the mushroom brick buildings, there's a whole host of new options for base builders, and it's more fortified walls and a bunch of other options, so you can build a cool big castle.
Oh, that's really cool. Now, we saw the Broodmother, so you're bringing bosses into Grounded. What can you tell me about that? What does that mean for the direction of the game as we move forward?
Yeah, so the Broodmother is our first boss. So we actually launched with the Broodmother, and we didn't really feel it hit the right mark. So we took the Broodmother out, and we wanted to spend a lot of time making it a really memorable boss fight. So we put a lot of development effort behind the Broodmother, and it's going to really feel like a big, huge fight and a memorable one. There's a lot of kind of cool things with it. I don't want to spoil everything. I want players to kind of experience it for themselves. But it definitely is something that we want players' feedback to see, like, what do they like? What do they not like? How is the challenge? We want to make it really challenging and have a good reward for defeating the Broodmother. But is it too hard? We'd like to know that. So for future development on Grounded, like, we want to make more bosses. And so we want to get all that feedback to improve the system.
Now, you actually bring up a great point about community, but I'll put a pin in that and come back to it in a second. So I know you don't want to spoil anything about the Broodmother, but is there any tips you can kind of give people ahead of time on what they can do to survive that encounter?
I would definitely say that you would need to make sure you have the highest tier armor and gear up really well for this fight, because it is going to be difficult. And then you also want to have the right mutations equipped as well. And if you're playing with your friends, it might be good for one of your friends or yourself to use the brand new crossbow we're going to put into the game, so you can have some ranged DPS while someone else like face tanks the Broodmother. Yeah. So it's going to be pretty cool.
That's pretty cool. So again,
never thought I heard the word face tanks and grounded, to be honest. Never thought we'd get that in depth with it, but I like it. I like it.
What are some of the things that you're looking for as far as in this update? What was something that you got feedback-wise from the community that you put in this update?
Yeah, so there's it's one thing that we love working with community.
All right, guys, I got to bounce out. I got to do some business calls, throw the emotes up in the chat. But Parris has been killing it. Super proud of him.
So there's a
love
lot
you
of
guys. I'll talk to you all later.
Things in our new update. One of those things is flipping buildings, and that's one thing that we're really like.
All right, Mike. Angry Dad left the building. You can be fun again. All right, you weren't there for some of my comments, some of my crass things. You were all like, "Oh, I'm buttoned up. Tim's here, and he's wearing a button up." It's
over. Sprint mode.
It's over. Let's get weird, Greg. Let's enjoy it. All right, let's do it.
Is sitting in chairs.
Yeah.
So it's something that
a lot of
people really wanted.
Now, have you been enjoying this? Have you been having fun with this?
No. We play. Me and Andy played a bunch of it on that launch. Like I said, like the first 2 nights, I think night 1 I played by myself, and then I joined Andy's the second night. Had a lot of fun with that, but then it was the cool. You've done the 3 missions we have in here, and I was like, oh, if that's how it's going to be for early access, I'm going to wait and come back when it's like more fleshed out. There's more stuff to do, and
so we're finally adding them to the game.
Kind of what I'm talking about right now is Sea of Thieves. Where now I'm super stoked to go into Sea of Thieves because the update sounds great. And
this was
feet
an early
wet,
access
no
game,
pun intended.
And
what would get you excited for this?
Oh, dude! As soon as they're like, "Hey, there's more content, more story," like I like the robot that was giving me missions and stuff. It was just like dailies and stuff that I want more of the story stuff.
You know, I want achievement. Like, how does that whole process work?
So we have a lot of like avenues where we gather feedback from the community. So we do weekly developer streams where
I look forward to us fighting a giant raccoon.
Or other developers or myself.
You know what I mean? That will be cool. Giant raccoon. Yesterday, had Washburn and JD come to my house, Greg. The moment that they walk into my house and they're seeing the house and stuff, giant black bear walking straight down the driveway at us.
Wow.
JD looks at the window and goes, "Oh my God, it's a bear!" And he's like, "Is this normal?" It's like, "Yeah." And things just cruising right down the driveway into the front door at us. It was awesome.
To be clear, are we talking about in Grounded or in real life? Because we merged those kind of. Okay, thank you very much.
Yeah, I was thinking
at first I was like, at first I was like, oh, he means they actually came to his house, and then you said giant black bear, and I was like, wait a second, are we small in Grounded? You run into bears a lot of there?
Oh, all the time, all the time.
No, you ever ride one?
You ever get scared?
No, but I try to get close to them. Every day I try to get a little bit closer, a little bit closer. You know, one day I might just get a hand on it. You know, I might get a hand on it.
Now, Greg, now that you know, Serious Dad is gone and Mike is here, we gotta ask Mike because he would know what do hooligans do.
What do hooligans do?
Yeah,
they shred the NARS. They get absolutely wasted on the mountain and then just send it full speed into just sick jumps and tricks. Is that what a hooligan does? I'm definitely a hooligan on the mountain, that's for sure.
Yeah, you've probably seen our
yesterday I saw on Reddit there was a clip of a guy who hit a bear in the face with a dodgeball.
I saw that. That's kind of weak.
Got me them Knockout City vibes. Let's go.
Yeah, I got some knockouts. I got a message from somebody, Greg, who wants to 1v1 you in Knockout City.
Oh, I know. It's
trying to link up.
He waited for me to get on the fucking plane yesterday and start talking about it on Twitter.
It's like he's been a reminder of like he can't cook, he can't throw balls, like does he really?
It's that thing where
how many
right now he's been
he's
been nuclear. I mean, he's clear. He's destroyed. He's got a bigger fish to fry. All of the video game industry is on him right now. You know, does he really want this on top of that?
This is a video game, and we want as many features as possible. So yeah, like I said, this is completely open.
Like, I'm interested to play this one too.
This looks terrific right now.
I really hope this
like
satiates those SSX
that wants to participate in a kick-ass invitational border cross event. We can also just cruise around and find
I feel like it will be
nice
50-50. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think it will be the ones where it's just like you're going 1,000 feet in the air and you're hooked off the board. But I think it will definitely give you that feel of like, here you are carving down the slopes. Okay, now you're approaching a jump. And then like give you that skate vibe, but on a snowboard. I think it's really going to hit the spots. I don't think it will be as crazy as SSX. A lot more grounded.
It's not going to be arcade.
You're going to enjoy it. Yeah, exactly. Look at the pillows. That's right. Look at the pillars, John Conti. Look at the pillars. Ooh, looks like they even have a little downhill slalom slope right here. Border cross, love that. Ooh, look at this.
Due to our real-time lighting engine. But hey, having a fun and realistic environment is nice, but it's not fun without nailing the riding itself, right?
Yeah. So for the actual snowboarding,
yeah, the riding is what it's all about. It's just like skate, right? When we talked about what was the other game you and I were playing recently, Bless, that like you kind of liked and I was so on? Skater XL.
Oh God.
Oh
right?
yeah.
Like
yeah.
When it comes down to it, it's like when you put your hands on the controllers and you start to feel that downhill momentum and you start to go left to right in this carving S formation, does it feel good, right? When you go off to jump, can you successfully land those tricks and stick those tricks you want? How does that feel?
And like how fun is it to figure it out? Like how fun is it to see a rail and go, okay, I want to do a trick off of that and try it over and over and over again. Because that's the thing that worked for me about Skater XL. Like, you know, that game had virtually no content outside of like the list of tricks and what it needed to do.
The content, the trophies, and even the trophies were bullshit.
Yeah, even the trophies were broken at a certain point. But the thing that kept me going in Skater XL was always seeing a grind or seeing a ramp and me going, well, I want to do a kickflip onto this grind, off of the grind, and then into a manual. And it would take me like 15 minutes to figure that out. And for me, that was fun enough to where I kept playing. And I hope this game has that.
Yeah, that
I hope it has content as well.
Big moment. Yeah, content as well. It'll be very interesting to see. Are they going to lock it down to where only they will create the next couple add-on drops worlds for you? Or similar to what Mark McMore's Infinite Air was, where they give you the tools and you can create the slopes and then upload them so players can ride your essential slopes in different like areas. So it'll be interesting to see how much content does it have at launch. Do they give you the tools to create your own and share it with friends, or will it be locked down where we wait for them to drop us the next mountain or the next track, essentially, which will be fun.
Olive Party says in the chat, got that Skater XL splat, was not worth it. How long did it take? Because there's one trophy, Greg, let me tell you, where you have essentially that like you have to skate around the world. Is what I think it is, right? Blessing, it's like it's the
something like that.
It's like the circumference of the world or some shit.
Is it manualing?
No, it's just you have
or is it
to
just
like
pure skating?
You just have to travel that far.
It's fucking ridiculous.
Mike, it's time.
Now you immediately saw me. Like, I just went back to back on my two favorite games from Xbox.
They
right
knew.
Now, so
they
I'm
knew,
in.
man.
They were like, "Oh, Mike finally tuned in and it didn't work. He's ready." I like this sonar pulse grenade that he just threw out right there. I like that a lot. That's nasty.
No scope.
And I'm also thinking about Riders Republic right now.
Sure you are. Sure you are.
Fun that's gonna be.
Yeah, I can't wait to downhill mountain bike in that game.
Achilles spree.
Oh yeah. Just hit him with the noob combo too. Stuff. They just made the ultimate Halo montage in this, which was so cool.
I don't know if the folks from the GG app are watching right now, but I have a request for a feature. If I can convert what I want to play into a calendar, just so I can look at all the upcoming releases as they approach, that would be so fucking clutch.
Okay, we are elevating it. I like that.
That might be him.
I like that. DM him, give him the idea.
Get out there, help him out, you know?
Because I feel like this fall is packed for games, but it's hard for me to know like all of the games I want to play in a cleared out way.
And like when is which game coming and shit like that. And you're looking at it.
Yeah. I got so many games I want to play, and I'm like, fuck. Is Riders Republic about to come out the same time as Life is Strange? Is that going to come out the same time as Rainbow Six Extraction? How is that going to line up with Halo?
Oddball.
So Mike, I've been keeping up with the Halo Infinite stuff by watching, obviously, but then of course Golden Boy, a huge fan. What was your take on all the changes and stuff they're adding here to multiplayer? Were you happy with it?
Yeah, really happy with it. I think that's the constant push and pull of Halo, is you have the two Halo diehards from 1 through 3 of what Bungie created, and that kind of like floaty feel of there is no sprint, there's no mantle. You got to be able to be a pro to learn different areas, to go into certain areas that the beginner players can't do. And then now where it's like, hey, the power of the new generation of games, we have sprints, we do have these features to make beginner players feel a little bit more comfortable. And I think this team has done a really good job at finding the middle ground of that and ensuring that old Halo players are going to love this and new Halo players are going to jump in and feel like, hey, this feels like any other first-person shooter I can learn and play and get into. And I'm liking everything they've done.
Fantastic.
All right, now who is this character? She looks like she's in charge.
Your senses are right there. She's very much in charge. That's Commander Lorette. She's in charge of the Spartan Academy, which is the kind of contextual wrapper that the whole multiplayer universe lives in. She is basically training the new generation of Spartans to, become better, and that's really where everything wraps around. I really love this character, and then what's cool is not only is it kind of the contextual wrapper for the game, but it's also we have a whole suite of academy features, we call them, where there's a tutorial that teaches the players the fundamental basics of the game. There's weapon drills that let you practice with every weapon that exists in the game and improve your skills with those. And then there's a whole thing we call training mode, which lets you play against bots on any map, basically, in the game, and lets you experiment with the toys and kind of learn the flows of everything. So we really want to bring players on board with the game, and again, under her orders and her charge.
Now, I want to go to 50 seconds in the trailer because there was a lot of action going on, and I want to check that out.
No scope. Big shot. Killing spree.
See him deflect that and throw it back at him. That was bananas. That was
Harry
bananas.
Mechanic, Andy's in, baby.
Now, you may have noticed I sat up in my chair a little bit on that one because there was a lot going on there. So please, if you can break that down, let me know what we were seeing.
There's a lot to break down. I don't know if we got enough time to get all the way into it.
Yeah.
But some of the things that I really love when I look at that trailer is that first sequence where they have the bulldog shotgun, they're running through, shotgunning enemies. They grab the commando
goes up to the wall, grabs that gun off of it.
Put some shots in, low sensor. Like, there's all sorts of different things that the player is interacting with, and that's the sandbox. That's what we call the sandbox. The toys that is at the disposal for a player's hands, and we just really love that moment in the trailer where they have the grapple shot, they look up, grapple the ceiling, and then in midair, no scope snipe an enemy, come all the way down, back whack a foe, and then the rest is history as you just see what happened in that trailer. But that's just some of the stuff that players can do, and that's actually the game. That's not just a movie for cinematic experience. Like, that is the game that if players are good enough, put in time, they could actually do the things that you see in the trailer.
There's a poll going on right now.
A few things are more important to Halo multiplayer
the announcer
than
from Warzone,
interacting with the sandbox and combining it, picking it up off the map, and combining it into awesome play styles. So what we did was every sandbox item in the game, when it spawns, it's spawning on an object in the map, so you can see where those things can be found. And then it also tells you the respawn time of that item, when it's going to come back. And you always know, I can go grab that commando over at this spot like that guy did. So, and then when the players, accrue all those awesome items and do awesome things, you heard the return of Jeff Steitzer, the multiplayer announcer, shouting out medals. So we always want to give players medals when they do really cool things. So you heard some there, and you'll hear some later on in the trailer.
Oh, that's awesome. See, when I watch that, to me, that's Halo. That's Halo to me. I absolutely love that. Now, let's skip ahead a little bit more into the trailer to 57 seconds. I heard a voice, so I want to know what this voice is. Let's see it.
Hello, let's do some damage.
Yeah, so that is the player's personal AI. So in Halo 5, there was a squad leader that announced, when weapons are going to come up and other things going on in the match. And in Infinite, we have the player, like Chief has Cortana, they have a personal AI in their helmet that is kind of telling them these things. And it's also another way that players can show their personality in their characters. So there's multiple personalities and characters for the player to choose, so that the right AI is in their helmet, helping them out in combat.
I want to skip
I'm hoping for Snoop Dogg
because
I want Snoop Dogg as my
I think
personal
I might have saw
AI.
Big Team Battle, so let's go to a minute 40 and check that out.
Skewer acquired.
Listen to Snoop Dogg as your personal AI as you drink some Snoop Dogg wine.
Woo! Some Scoop Dog wine? Yeah, hell yeah, bro.
Ordnance drop inbound. The flag is ours.
It's gonna be really wild without everybody in the same red and blue armor of seeing what that looks like in battle, especially with big team battle. You know, that's gonna be a lot of colors on the
What's
screen.
coming new? What are we gonna do in big team battle in Infinite?
I mean, it's not even just that. I mean, it actually opens with actually a 4v4 with a vehicles map called Behemoth at the beginning. So we actually are bringing vehicles back into the 4v4 arena. But then, yes, it definitely transitions into the 12v12 actually BTB part of the game, where we're actually making it a bigger team battle this time. Really wanting to index into the battle fantasy with the more players. Where instead of like vehicles just spawning around the map, we have pelicans drop them off. We have ordnance pods that drop in new weapons. And inside of that whole time, you have the battle commander, Lorette, talking in your ear, giving you orders and trying to kind of encourage you to play around, but really just bringing the whole sandbox and the play style around this whole battle experience that we're building.
Yeah, Tom brings up some good points there of Commander Lorette, and you've got your commander on the comms, and then you've got the pelicans dropping vehicles and items off. You got drop pods, everything. It just is like this theater of war that this time around it is this 12v12 bigger team battle, if you will. And just that ending segment, which is like a capture the flag match, is just so beautiful and awesome, where you've got the Pelican drop the Banshee off, teams fight over it. You and your teammate are just making a beeline for the Banshee. Your teammate gets picked off by the sniper, and you're like, oh no, and then you get the skewer, take that sniper out, jump into the Banshee, and you hit the jets and fly up into the sky and go for the enemy flag. That to us is what is so exciting about this version of Big Team Battle, with all of the toys, all the vehicles, the modes coming back, the maps, the brand new maps that you see there. I mean, it's going to be an amazing experience.
Yeah, trust me, I cannot wait to get my hands on it for myself. But let's move on. I want to go to 208 in the trailer because I think I saw a samurai. So let's check that out. Let's go to 208 in the trailer.
Show me what you can do.
Yeah, he throws the grenade at the sword, then grabs it off the jump. That's so cool. This is some YouTube montage type stuff going on here, y'all. YouTube montage.
Kind of talk about that. So we're going to start seeing some more customization with the armor coming in.
Yeah, I mean, that is a samurai Spartan armor. Yeah. And so it'll be an armor you'll be able to unlock for free in the first season, which is super cool. Players will be able to equip it, gain more armor pieces and customization options for it, et cetera, across the season. And then we actually have more of this stuff kind of coming down the line. There's actually some really cool ideas that we're seeing in that our team that's building that stuff. So there'll be a lot of other cool armors besides just the really core Halo Spartan armors. There'll be some other different kind of twists and things for players to play with.
Awesome. Look, now before we get out of here, first of all, I want to thank all of you for being here to talk about Halo Infinite. I'm excited. I can't wait to get my hands on it and play it. But before we do leave, is there anything else that you want to bring up and let fans out there know about?
Well, I'm excited for people to actually get their hands on it like yourself. So, I mean, if people sign up on our Halo's Insiders program, we have in the summer, we have a technical preview that we're going to be launching, so people finally put their hands on the sticks. And I'm just really excited for players to actually finally get to play the game we're working on.
Yeah, and then on launch day, Halo Infinite Multiplayer is free to play, which is new to the franchise. The team is super excited to hopefully bring in all sorts of fans that have potentially never experienced the franchise or haven't played it in a long time to just try it out. Come in and try it out with your friends.
I did get a response from Gigi that said, I just heard about your feature request for the calendar. That's actually on the roadmap already. So shout out to Gigi.
If it's for you, it's for you.
You can go over to the website, go to the roadmap, and you can upvote it. So they know.
I will do that.
Big key.
Yeah, go over there, upvote that feature so they'll know that you guys want it.
This is a PC game as well. We've been putting a lot of effort into that. So not only is it going to be console, but also PC, free to play. Like the barrier to entry is so low, and that has us excited. And I think as we really, just to really think about it, as we've been working on this game, and as developers, when you work on a game, you want to get that game out there. And that almost seems like, for us, that's the finish line. But in reality, it's going to be the starting line for all of us. For us, And the Halo fans, day one, there's going to be a bunch of content there and things that are exciting and good. But then we're going to add more content. We're going to add more maps. We're going to add more modes and weapons and vehicles, equipment items. And it's just the beginning of this whole journey that we've been on for a while. And we're going to take everyone else with us as the game comes out.
I'm excited. Gentlemen, again, thank you so much. Now, for fans who want to learn even more about Halo Infinite multiplayer, check out the brand new deep dive video with the whole multiplayer team over on HaloWaypoint.com. And allow me to give a big thanks to everyone who's joined us today. Whether you play your favorite games on Xbox, PC, or Game Pass, the next 12 months will be nothing short of spectacular. It has been my absolute honor to be your host and share this experience with you. But before I go, here's a gameplay deep dive from the team behind the highly anticipated Scarlet Nexus.
世界観を表現した世界観が収められたものになってます。で、見た目ビジュアルのこのスカーレットネクサスのビジュアルの特徴だとか、あとはキャラクターの見た目だとか、さまざまなルックスについてこのクリップでは紹介しようと思ってます。はい、この都市はこの世界の中では一番大きな都市というふうに紹介されています。ここはスオという都市で、このゲームの中心になる場所です。でこのスオの都市の見た目のインスピレーションは東京の景色と日本の90年代の景色をイメージしてます。ユニークなビジュアル部分っていうのはいくらかあると思うんですけれど、あと今回はセルシェーディングとリアリスティックな背景を合成するような見た目を選んでいるんですけれど、それはまず密度感を表現したいからというのが一つありました。であともう一つはそのセルシェーディングのキャラクターとリアリスティックな映像が混ざることによってまたそこでも異質な見た目、ちょっと面白い見た目にならないかなっていうのも模索しました。でただ単にセルシェーディングのキャラクターをリアリスティックな背景に置いてしまうとすごく浮いてしまって見た目が変になってしまうっていうのを懸念してたんですけれど、うまくそこを混ざるように工夫したっていうのが今回の苦労した点の一つではあります。で例えば今映像の中で東京タワーが映ってると思うんですけれど、これは日本では有名なランドマークで海外の人も見たことがあるかもしれないものと思うんですけど、その東京タワーがものすごく大きなサイズになっていて、でこれ3000m 富士山と同じぐらいサイズがあるんですけど、それだけ大きなもの本当はそんなサイズない333メートルの東京タワーをそれだけ大きくすることによってちょっとおかしい異質な景色みたいのを作りたいっていうのがありました。さっき東京の都市をいろいろと混ぜるみたいな話をしたと思うんですけれど、それというのも僕たちも知ってる街なんだけれどちょっとおかしいみたいなそういった異質さを出したいっていうのがありまして、なので東京タワーも僕たちは知ってるものだけどすごく大きなこんな大きなサイズじゃないんだけど、
Aren't you excited for this too, Wes? I feel like there's an undercurrent.
Oh yeah,
ということで何かちょっと変な場所だなっていうふうに思ってほしいっていうのがありました。
Astral Chain vibes to it, which is why
大きな桜の木というのは日本を代表する桜の木なんですけど、それがあまりにも大きなサイズになっていて、これもさっきの東京タワーと同じで異質さを感じてほしいと思ってやっていることです。でこれが本作の特徴となる怪異という主人公たちに立ちはだかる敵なんですけれど、この見た目については私は新規 IP、 新しい IP の新しいクリーチャーということで変わった見た目、何か興味を引く見た目にしたいというのが一つありました。でその上で私たちの感覚とは違うものを取り入れたいというのがきっかけにありまして、実際にアーティストの力を借りてこの会議のデザインを再現しています。でそのアーティストの表現というのは美しさがありながらも死の世界だとかネガティブなイメージとポジティブなイメージを一つにしたような幻想的な表現をする作家の方なんですけど、また彼らの動きについてこだわっているのは私たちの知っているような生き物でありそうで生き物のようであって私たちと違うものであるっていうのを表現したいっていうのがあったので、動きの中に一見動物のようで急に違うような動きをするだとか、人間のようでいて人間と違うような動きをするだとか。I'm definitely interested in this, Bear. I want to give this a try as I continue to expand out of my, normal gaming bubble and try different games. This is high on my list. Let's jump in, play a couple hours, see if it sticks with me.
Definitely looks weird though. Looks weird as can be.
Yeah, the enemies are like.
Let's not beat around that. Looking weird.
共に新入隊員として入隊したキャラクターが2人。
Yeah, the style of it reminds me so much of Astral Chain. Astral Chain definitely weird, but also ended up being really good at the end of the day. I really hope this one ends up living up because
who made Astral Chain?
I like these types of games. The combat is interesting because it has like a not telepathic. Like what is it when you can control objects with your mind and like throw them around and shit?
Telekinesis.
Yeah.
Well, psychokinesis, I guess. Telekinetic.
Yeah, basically you can like force push stuff into enemies and use that alongside the hack and slash stuff. Like combo that in.
でその経験から自らも怪異と抜群に志願して入隊したっていうキャラクターになっています。はい。そしてもう一人がこちら。
Love seeing people already jump into design lab and go wild. Loving it. Love that.
エリートと呼ばれるキャラクターですね。怪異と抜群からもスカウトして入隊した非常に優秀なキャラクターです。
People are saying I should try Code Vein. Code Vein has been on my radar for a while. I want to try it at some point, but there's a lot of games to play.
ユイトの姿が見えたりとかしています。で今重ねの方ですね。一緒に同行しているキャラクター、このキャラクターが実は未来予知の能力を持っているキャラクターで、ちょっとこのユイトたちがやられそうだなっていうのはちょっと分かるようなシーンになっています。この頃ユイトの方は今止めてますけど、これはユイトの方では入らずに次のシーンに進んでいきます。
Did you ever play God Eater Bless?
という形で。
Tried that before? Okay.
I've not. I've heard so much about God Eater though, and it seems like it'd be up my alley too.
That was one of my friends, Sad Boy Sean. He introduced me to God Eater, and we played through one of them. We had fun with God Eater 3.
物語が進行していきます。こういうふうにこう同じ一つのシーンですね。それぞれがこう。
Yeah, Sad Boy Bear and Sad Boy Sean are not affiliated.
He is his own thing. It's not me.
今回のこの企画から今こう発売までっていうところでもうほぼ4年以上かかってるんですけれども、このストーリーラインというところももちろん企画の最初からこう作っていってはいるんですけど。
Look at this thing on the bottom right.
It's
like the bottom half of his body, the top half is plant.
The dozen roses created in a blouse or something weird right there. Garter belt.
あとはですね、アクションの部分に関しても、開発チームとすごく議論して決めてまして、特にこの念力アクション、どういう風な念力を使えたら皆さんが分かりやすく直感的にこう気持ちよくなってもらえるかっていうところは、非常にこう開発の中でもですね議論を重ねてできてきた部分がありますので、この念力を使うユイトと重ねのこのストーリーですね、物語っていうのをぜひ楽しんでもらえればと思います。
はい、本作はですねもともと僕がサイボーグ009とかいろんなキャラクターがいろんな能力を使って戦う集団っていうものが大好きで、そういういろんな能力を使う集団を改めてゲーム化したいっていう思いで企画を立ち上げました。あとサイキックアクションのもう一つの主軸としてSAS というものがあります。正式名称はストラグルアームズシステムというんですけど、仲間キャラクターから超能力を借り受けるシステムですね。脳を接続して仲間キャラクターから超能力を借り受けることで、いろんな超能力をユートと重ねは使えるようになります。今画面上では放電の超能力を今使おうとしているんですけど、放電の超能力だけに限らず、瞬間移動とか透明化とか、ポピュラーで誰しもが一度は使ってみたいっていう超能力を選定してます。本作のキーワードとして赤い線っていうものがあるんですけど、サスを使った時に赤いケーブルが背中に刺さって戦うことができますそうですね、サスケーブルデザインする時にそうですね、見た人の印象に残ってインパクトに残したいところはまずあったんですよね。でそういう時見た時に過去タイトル見た時に例えばキングゲイナーの刺さってるケーブルだったりとか、あとはそうですね日本のアニメのガンツなんかもケーブルが刺さって戦う様っていうところがすごくクールだったので、そのあたりはインスパイアされながら
Good for Xbox for embracing this type of game though. we've been talking about for a while, them trying to lean in more toward the Japanese audience side of things, because they've been really lacking in that over the last few generations. So it feels like such a cool move for them to be like, yo, let's just showcase Scarlet Nexus for a good while. And have things like Yakuza, the entire Yakuza franchise be on Game Pass.
And like Nier.
ここはそうですね。
Like Nier Automata is
ドラム
on
缶
Game Pass too, I
を
think.
の中から水を出してその貝を水浸しにしてます。
I need to get
で
back
そ
to
の
that
後
blessing.
その
I
サス
gave
の
up on
放電で戦うことで水浸しになったその
I
貝を
would say
電気で痺れさせ
just
る
play
ということができ
through
るので、その
Automata.
まあちょうど
I started
サスを
Automata
組み合わせて
and I
戦うというとこ
just
ろが
got
まあ一つ
overwhelmed
特
with
徴
a
とな
bunch
って
of.
おります。まあしっかり遊
There's
び
a
た
lot
い
of
人も
games,
そ
man.
のカジュアル
Too
に
many
遊びたい人
games.
もまあ幅広く
Too many
The next
Like, I
lull
wanna
there
play
is, the
Chicory.
next lull, I'll get back to
このよう
Nier.
にブレインフィールドっていうね、その
The messed up thing is when I look at the calendar of games, I'm like, dude, when is the next lull going to be for me?
海抜群が使うことができる
Because like
近畿の
we're
技
gonna have
で非
Mario
常に強力
Golf,
なんですけど、
Scarlet
同
Nexus
時に
is
非
about
常
to
に
come
危険
out.
な技でもあります。ユートと
this
重ね
fall
が
is filled
展
with
開する
games.
ことで、そのまあオブジェクトがその空間内に浮き上がってその念力は使い放題になるんですけど、
Sure, we're gonna be
一方でその
playing
非
The
常に強い
Ascent.
負荷が
That
脳に
comes
かか
out
っ
in
てしまいま
July.
すね。なのでまあ自分の言動がちょっとおかしなことを言ってしまったりとか、あとは聞こえないなノイズのような幻聴が聞こえたりとか、あと
And even just right now, I'm like, dude, I want to play Chicory. I want to play Stonefly. Catch up on that.
Fuck yeah, I
I
have
still
that
want to go back and
downloaded.
finish.
That's
I want to kill Chaos.
There's too much stuff going on right now. I wanted to do the lake demo, you know, Mario Golf right on the corner. I want to check out that D&D co-op or shoot or no, co-op slasher thing that's coming out.
Dude, Death's Door is next month too.
Death's Door, yeah, there's a bunch of indies that I gotta just make my own calendar. I think that's what I gotta do.
Yeah.
I don't know why. Like I bought Mario and Rabbids Kingdom Battle, not knowing when I'm gonna play it. Also, an update on that, I did get to cancel my Amazon order. And I just ordered
Dude,
it off the eShop
it's
for
worth
everybody.
$15, Blessing. What the fuck are you doing?
I mean, do you know what? It's also worth $10, so I got it for that. And also, the Amazon order was easy to cancel. Like, I guess you can cancel it after they ship.
Just saying, it's worth the $15, man.
I also would prefer to have it digital than
能力を
physical.
拡張してその新たなアクション、まあこの映像の中ではため攻撃で範囲攻撃をできるようになってるんですけど、まあそういったそのアクションの拡張だけじゃなくて、そのまあ念力ゲージが増加する強化系のスキルだったりとか、あとはアイテムを使用した後の
Lone
その
Wolf
クールタイムが
says
短く
support
な
the
るよう
devs.
な
The devs are Ubisoft. They'll be fine without my $5 extra
カテゴリーの
dollars.
スキルを使用することができるようになっています。でその、まあ、脳みそをその脳神経を拡張していくようなデザインにこだわってて、その、まあ、スキルを選択してボタンをホールドすることでその、まあ、神経が伸びていってそのどんどんその脳神経が拡張していくようなそういうその体験になることを意識してデザインしております。
Bless, can you make a calendar and we can play along with you? I actually do like that idea. The Bless Gaming Calendar 2021. I might work on that.
経験値を積むことで通常のレベルアップでそのパラメータが底上げされるっていうことに加えて、仲間との絆ですね。仲間と絆形成することでその絆の力が強くなると絆レベルというものが上がって、そのまあ仲間から買い受ける超能力っていうものが強力になってきます。まあそのブレインマップと通常のレベルと、あとはその仲間との絆を
Somebody in chat asked where I get my shirt. I think Xbox might have sent this shirt to all of us a while ago. Though I did my bomber jacket from kindafunny.com/store.
Hey!
Yeah. Look at that. Look at those controllers on the sleeve. Look at that KF logo.
流れるようなコンビネーションの体験とかはシリーズ X だと 60fps で滑らかに体験できるので。
You gonna rock that on Kinda Funny Games Daily?
Yeah, this is what I'm rocking. Yeah.
Guys, I have to go.
Let's go.
I'll talk to you later. Sorry.
Hey, Greg.
Bless, when this is done, make sure you give an outro.
Will do. I got you.
Alright, bye.
Where do you think he's going, Bless?
I don't know. The way he said that makes me like a little bit worried about what the fuck.
Wait, it's over. It's fuck. Hold on, let me craft you again so we can do a proper.
Did he do that on purpose?
I don't know.
Why the fuck did he do
Hold
that?
on, I need
also,
you to get
Scott,
on.
on me, thank you so much for the raid. I'm sorry that Parris had to do that to you, but it's nice to see that you're still alive and well, Khalif, after you got shat on by Parris. Holy shit, Ka, you gotta... I don't know what you gotta do to respond to that, man. Like, you gotta maybe rap on the ether beat. You might have to expose somebody. You can't let that slide that way, Parris. That was embarrassing. That was really bad, man. That was really bad. You got to do something. Rest in peace to Khalif. Barrett, let me know when you're ready for me to go. Also, why the fuck did Greg leave like that? What happened?
I don't know. It's like he knew. He's like, oh, this is about to end. Fuck it. I'm out.
Why did he leave?
Plus, outro for me because we're recording this. We're gonna put it up on YouTube and stuff.
Yeah, thank you everybody for coming through. This has been Parris Lilly's Xbox Showcase that we got to react to live with you, the audience, of course. I've been blessing. The Stomac Mike is gone from his seat, but Bear Courtney has me on the ones and twos. Until next time, peace out.